What is up, everybody? Okay, hopefully this time we don't have to spend like an hour and a half upgrading Beowulf, so we can just get to the good stuff. Lots of free apples, I'm alright with that. Not sure what major boss we're about to get to, but we will see. We're not super far away from Zeus, which is a bit concerning because I'm pretty sure this account is going to get absolutely wrecked by Zeus, but we'll do our best. What even is our plan for that? I don't know. Once we've got Asclepius, that's something. We gotta fight the twins again. Multiple times, actually. I think we're about to fight them with the trash mobs. What else is there? Oh, you gotta fight Europa and Talos. Yeah, we still got a little bit, and we gotta fight Limbo. And, oh yeah, Cerberus, because you gotta fight Cerberus all the time. So, yeah, we still got a little bit. Alright, I think this is the twins when they have a bunch of trash mobs with them. Let's see. Let me log on my main so I can summon something power appropriate. Gotta find that Goldilocks zone that's not too strong, not too weak. Yeah, we already fought Beach. You fight her actually before you fight Aphrodite. For some reason, I had thought though you fought Beach a bit later in the story, but no, yeah, you fight it pretty early on. Alright, what do I want to summon here? Probably an Archer because it's good for the Berserker and the Saber, so it's just the Caster, which I think are Snake Ladies as the Casters off memory. What's an Archer we feel like using that maybe we haven't used in a while? No, there's always Tesla. That's a little strong, but I mean, I don't get to use him too often, and he's awesome. So yeah, I feel like Tesla is gonna happen here. He's in my all slot. Yeah, he is. We'll give him Golden Sumo. Don't think he needs command codes. Don't think this is that hard of a stage. Also, he's a 5-star, so kinda good. Might need to put a rider in here, though. Could die pretty quick, though, to the Chimeras or whatever. Do a Rosh. David in the back. Do Hans. They're divine, so I could do Martha. Match isn't terrible either. Might not be enough survival for Tesla. I'd like a taunt sooner than this. Could do it like that and just ignore the whole caster thing. I don't have to bring Martha. Alright, this seems decent. Do I have his Bond CE? No, damn. Getting there though. Lowers our damage, but Oh, they have Pierce and Vulnerability. That's actually not that good then. Oh, I wish I had K-Scope instead of Cope Scope for a Rosh. Could just do that and not NP turn 1. Mostly for the trash mobs. Alright. Can I get away with this? I want the XP. Are there debuffs here? I don't remember. I'll try it. Once that thing gets to 10, this account doesn't have to worry about leveling anything. Chat, I still need like 270 coup coins. I'm Bond 15, by the way, and I've used quite a lot of SQ since they added the coin system, just trying to get coup copies. And I've gotten them from FP a few times, and I still need 7. It's ridiculous, man. And that's at Bond 15, right? If I was like, you know, Bond 10 or whatever, I'd be like, okay, you know, that's reasonable, but... Well, Mash getting a couple of the cards there. Might have her smack the caster. That Tesla NP right now, though, although he doesn't have any cards. And we haven't done his buff success chance yet. I guess I'll wait then. I could cast his battery right now, though. Yeah, I'll do it next turn. I have a couple of stars. I respawned in the guillotine. Love relates to that, yeah. I mean, Willy Wonka. I mean, Lev's got like, you know, the dark green suit going on. It's not too bad a fashion. Okay, there's our buff success chance. What is the play here? Kinda want to taunt. It should be decently safe. Well, no, I mean, Mash has gotta get our NP, actually. Okay, here's what we'll do. There we go. Probably should have done Tesla's first skill, because then he could probably NP without using his third. I hope we don't have to wait a super long time for Sanson to get used again in a major way, but we probably will, which sucks because I want him to get an animation update. Damn it, we didn't kill that thing. We did get our NP, but I wanted that thing to die, so I didn't NP it with Tesla. Oh, well. I guess we'll do a Rosh in third place. No, we'll do it in second place, so we might need the damage. Sadly, anything that they might have done for the Solomon movie, like that time has kind of passed, so I don't think we're gonna get much love there for Sanson. Okay, I could have done more NP game for a Rosh. Okay, they get the whole battery on attack thing. Tesla can get Pierce Vulnerability. Mash gonna fucking die. Too bad Tesla's only got the one card. I guess we'll go for an art crit though. Still do the Buster card first. A lot of 50% damage to Tesla's card. Big deal. Man, Fiona is one of the only times he's done an animation update just out of nowhere. They don't do that much. But like that's a bullshit point though, being like, Like that, like look, like that's just nonsense, right? Like that's like looking at an exception and acting like that's the rule. That's just stupid. Like literally look at, first off, they said themselves that they try to do animation updates tied to, like, you know, what's topical and happening in the events. Like they literally said that recently in an interview. And then look at like every other animation update they've ever done, right? Like almost all of them are tied to the character being, you know, in a big role in an event or in a story. Like Ushi had to wait so long after Babylonia until Little Big Tengu happened, because then Ushi was the center of attention again. Like that's overwhelmingly their track record, right? Like it's like 95% of the time, or even more than that, they only do animation updates if the unit is topical. And Fionn is an exception, and exceptions prove the rule, not the other way around. Like, that's like a known saying, exceptions prove the rule, and yet people are constantly trying to use exceptions to act like rules don't exist, which makes no fucking sense. It's like, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to look at the history of animation updates to be like, yeah, basically all of these tie to them being in the main story or being the focus in an event. And then every once in a while you get a, you know, a weird exception, but that's every once in a while. So if you're looking at, like, you know, the odds, like, okay, I want Yuri Pirates to get an animation update. What do I think is more likely? Them getting an animation update just completely out of the blue, or they getting an animation update because they're actually a major part of a story? Again, you're just naming exceptions, and that's literally not enough to even fill up a hand. Meanwhile, there's just I mean, basically every other animation update that's ever been has been relative to an event or a story, and you don't have to take my word for it. You can just go on the wiki and look at like all the past events. And fucking they interview themselves where they just straight up said that they intentionally try to do animation updates that are tied to the events in the main story. Like, they just said that. That's just what came out of their mouths, right? You think they're lying? Like this whole time, they've just been spinning a wheel and randomly doing animation updates, and it somehow miraculously synced up with, like, you know, Ushi and Little Big Tengu and everything. Like, it's just total bullshit. Okay, what's weird here is we can pretty much kill them right now. They really should have given them a little bit more health. I can definitely kill them if I do Arash's NP, but I guess I just save it, because they're pretty much toast anyway, and I can use Arash for other trash mobs. And they're divine related, so I'm sure they're Earth or Sky, so he'll get his bonus damage. Tesla's not big on fantasy and the gods. Okay, well, they're still alive, but the extra might get them here. Yeah, it should. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure you still have to beat the trash mobs, though. Now, NA is different just because NA gets animation updates early, so theirs end up being just random as fuck. But obviously NA is not where the animation updates actually come from. Yeah, NA gets really random nonsense. Yeah, it is true. They said, well, actually what they said was they were planning on updating all the year one servants. Like, and they definitely worded it in a way that was like, you know, hopefully, but yeah, here we are several years later, and that really hasn't happened. But you gotta be on some serious void dust to actually not see the rather obvious track record of like 95% of the animation updates being completely tied to when they're relevant in the story or in a event. Like, almost every animation update happens like that. Like, almost all of them. And like, you know, Mordred got it, and APOC, and so on and so forth. That's just how they pretty much always are. And I think some of the exceptions actually happened because of like the missing deadlines and stuff. Like Caligula, I think it's pretty obvious they were trying to get Caligula done for 5.2 because he's in 5.2 so much. And then just a little while after 5.2, he just randomly got an animation update. Like, I think they just missed the deadline on that one.
私はまだ立ち続けるでしょう。
One of my least favorite things that happened late on NA was the round of buffs that included Mozart's third skill and Robin Hood's third skill, because you were supposed to get that like just in time for Camelot. It came out like 2 days after Camelot on JP, but then it was so much later on NA. And obviously Gwaine and all that kind of stuff, it's nice to have Robin and Mozart in good shape. And I have no idea how to say your name. I'll go with full Mason. I don't need, how the fuck do you say? Anyway, thank you for the 4 months, man. Hi Green, hi chat, yeah, how you doing? I have no idea how to say your name, but oh, that's Deceitful Mason. I remember that name. Jesus. Get some fucking, you know, capital letters for the spaces. Kind of helps, by the way. And we've had, I think this has happened every time you've subbed, now that I think about it. That sound effect. I mean, that really is, like, when you, a lot of these names, it's like if you don't do something like putting an underscore or, you know, capital letters to distinguish the words, there really isn't a good way to know where one word stops and another begins. And it's not even hard to put capital letters between, like, for the words. Like, I don't know why it's so common that people don't do it. And they act like I'm crazy when I bring this up. What the hell is this stage? I think it's like when you're being attacked or whatever by, yeah, I think we're coming up on the part where you fight this, the hand, the XP hand that, you know, is made by the one god that's like been turned into the crafting core or whatever. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's about where we are. We'll use Mordred, why not? Capital letters are the enemy. I see what you did there, though. You did the underscore. I mean, that still makes it a lot easier, but still no capital letters. But yeah, that is way easier now. See, now you can just clearly see it. I know Zaw's never changing his name under any circumstance. Capital letters are oppressors. Why do people hate capital letters, man? What'd they ever do to you? Okay, I think we'll use Ushi here. Maybe Qingong, just for the battery and such. If someone dies, it'll probably be Qin. Bring in another rider. I don't think we'll need any other saber after Mordred. Get Bond on Stheno and George. I kind of had been forgetting to bring George for Bond. Missed out on a decent amount of XP, I figure. Kind of a threatening aura on Qingong there for Ushi. Capital letters killed my family. Uh-huh. I like how you say that and your name also doesn't have capital letters in it. I think we run into Muramasa soonish. I think I murder the Chimera. Either that or I third skill and just NP right now. Sure, why not? Well, we don't really need to NP though. These aren't that tough, and I got a Brave Chain. I'm not gonna need my third skill ever then though, so I can just use it for the defense buff, which is fine. I bet you it's one of those Lancer fucks, the eyeball silver thingies. Look, I'm really not one of those like super uptight people that is like a grammar Nazi. It's not that at all, right? Especially like in casual conversation, like it doesn't matter. Like that I there is not capital, but that doesn't matter, right? It's not hard to read that sentence just because the I is not capital, right? There's no period at the end and all that. That doesn't matter. It's easy as hell to read that sentence regardless, right? But when it comes to like names, or especially when you're fusing words together and there can't be spaces, then it's wise to do things to, you know, make it much clearer where the words shift, right? It's not the same thing as like just casual speak and like, oh my god, you got some minor grammar mistake that is completely irrelevant, right? It's not that kind of thing. Okay, Ushi's got her Buster card in the next hand. I think I'm gonna do this anyway, though. Like bonk, bonk, bonk. Could have art chained though, maybe get Ushi's MP for one of these guys. Nice 90% crit there. Imagine having attack up, crit up, quick up, and then failing a 90% quick crit. Wait a minute, what? Was her Buster card in the first hand? I guess so. I just overlooked it because Mordred had a Brave Chain. Well, just deal with it. There actually are some words that are just, the way they're spelled is so stupid, it's like, it's completely nonsense. Like, I use the wrong to all the time, like T-O or T-O-O. I know the difference, but I'll use the wrong one all the time because I just don't even think about it. And when I'm reading someone's sentence, I don't even think about which to they're using because it's so outrageously obvious which one they mean by context, right? So I don't, you know, that kind of stuff, it just doesn't matter. But that's not the same thing as someone having a name that's just like, there's no way to tell, you know, especially when you're using words that aren't typically names, right? A lot of Twitch names aren't, you know, it's not like Bob. It's not like your name is Bob Smith, right? It's like the names are more like, you know, more like titles or something, right? So if there's no capital letters or underscores or something, it really is confusing to know where the differences is, and it's not like it's hard to use capital letters in a name. Okay, well we're about to do a hell of a lot of damage here. Question is it enough to kill the riders? I had a Buster card I could target switch, but yeah, you know what? We'll do double star bomb even though I don't have a Buster card. Or like that. Like, I care about grammar and such when in a practical sense. I don't care about it in a... Okay, well they're all dead. It's almost disappointing. I wanted to see the normal card damage. I like how you Sanson someone's all that has no capital letters in their name, by the way. Might be another one of those guys. We'll just do the same thing, but switch Ushi out for maybe Beowulf. There we go. I really wish Beowulf had foe items. It's so aggravating. I like Beowulf a lot, and he feels so incomplete like that. Oh, that other MC, it's pretty pointless, to be honest. Like, it's kind of a side grade to the Switch Mystico that we already have, but it takes so much XP, who cares? And I think overall, the combat uniform in the regular Switch Mystic Code is better anyway. So that one's better, and people already have it leveled. And even if you don't, it takes less XP to level it. So the new one's just completely pointless. Like, it's worth nothing. It's just something for like whales to level up to show off or whatever. It doesn't have any real practical purpose. You might have like one stage out there or one challenge quest out there where it's slightly more meta, but it's never going to be more meta to like make or break a team. So it's not even remotely worth the time to level it unless you literally have nothing else to level and you got farming setups that don't rely on the Mystic Code at all, so you can just bring whatever you want. And hell, if you want to work on it, why not? But odds are they'll just add another Mystic Code before you're done leveling that one, and that new one they'll add is probably going to be more worthwhile. Oh, this is the only wave. No bunch of cards from Mordred again. Probably do the Star Bomb anyway. Just have Beowulf punch something here. Hopefully Mordred kills the Lancer here. She might kill them all, actually. I could see her doing 100k at neutral. We had bought like one more buffer, definitely. Damn, not quite. Well, you can really see the low high roll there, though. Those enemies have the same attribute and all that nonsense. And there's a pretty clear damage difference. Yeah, that's the thing, Zaw, for sure, because sometimes the enemies have those exact debuffs that the other Lost Belt 2, you know, Mystic Code has the debuff clear for, so it ends up being a little bit better, but those stages are so rare and the difference is so minor, and then like you say, it has to be rank 10. Like for in order to make up for the other value lost, you know, it needs to at least be rank 10. And it's so hard to get it to rank 10, it's so pointless. I don't know why, I honestly don't know why they made those Mystic Codes. They're just stupid. I really do feel like they're just for whales to show off. Like, they're just so much XP, and they're not even that good. It's kind of lame. I think they've done such a terrible job with Mystic Codes. I think this is actually one of the areas where it just shows how, like, amateur they can be in some areas of this game. Because, like, there's just, okay, I guess this account's not a good one to show it off because I haven't gotten a lot of the Mystic Codes, but there's just so many Mystic Codes in this game, and almost none of them are worth using at all, ever, under any circumstance. They're good enough to be used and give you some value, opposed to not having a Mystic Code at all, but they're just so behind the regular, you know, default Mystic Codes, like the typical 4 that everyone uses, that it's just like, what are you doing? And it's not like they're out of ideas. It's not like there's not other ways to make Mystic Codes. There's so many things you could do with Mystic Codes. That the problem is they keep trying to be like really different in a way that's not good value, right? Like where it's better to just do simple things. Like you can have a Mystic Code that is a lot like Anniversary Blonde, you know, make Star Bomb, has some kind of survival skill. You can make it a different one other than Guts, right? You can make it Evade or whatever. And then this is Art Up instead of Bus Drop. There you go. There's a super viable, useful Mystic Code. Right, but they just keep doing weird stuff instead of like the really obvious, straightforward value, because that's the thing. The big 4 that everyone uses, if you look, all of their skills are things that are just going to buy you at least 1 turn of value, right? Like the amount of damage this attack up gives you is probably going to make you win the fight at least 1 turn sooner, at least, right? The evade means one of your units will definitely die 1 turn later. So that's at least 2 turns of value right there, and the heal can definitely give you a turn worth of value. And because of the lower cooldown, you might be able to use it twice, maybe even 3 times in a longer fight. So that can be a turn of value, maybe 2 turns of value. So now right here, you got 3 to 4 turns of value in your Mystic Code, right? Almost no matter what the stage is, unless they have sure hit all the time. But most enemies that have sure hit, you can just use the evade on one of the turns they don't have it, and you still get value out of it, right? Same thing for this, you know, invulnerability, we'll save the unit for a turn. You're only going to use this Mystic Code if you have a lot of debuffs. Normally debuffs are impactful enough that the debuff clear will buy you at least a turn. And as long as you use the 3rd skill intelligently, you can probably at least get a turn of value out of that, but sometimes more, depending on like what kind of unit you reduce the cooldowns on. So again, it's 3 to 4 turns worth of value. And then you look at a lot of these other Mystic Codes out there, and they just have all these stupid abilities that it's like, if you actually think about it, you're probably not going to get a turn worth of value out of. You might not get any value out of it. So a lot of the other Mystic Codes give you 1, maybe 2 turns of value. It's just like, why would you ever use this, right? And they make Mystic Code after Mystic Code after Mystic Code like that. instead of just doing more basic, you know, fundamental stuff, which again, you can do easily. A lot of these Mystic Codes you could make side grades to, like I said with Anniversary Blonde, make this Art Up instead of Buster Up, you keep the Star Bomb, and it's a different type of survival skill. There you go, totally viable, useful side grade to Anniversary Blonde, will get used all the time, right? You could do another one that's quick, right? You kind of need, you know, a Mystic Code like this for all 3 card types. It's kind of silly that the Star Bomb, right, that we have is only 4 Buster, right? Like, you can, and if you want to balance things, you know, you can lower and raise the Star Bomb, you know, a little bit, and lower and raise the Quick Up or Art Up, and, you know, you can twink things like that. So it's like, for example, if you think Invulnerability is better than Guts, you could lower the, like, the Quick Up to be smaller than the Buster Up. You know, there's all, you can still do stuff like that, but yeah, they could be doing a lot better, in my opinion, with their Mystic Codes, because they've added so many. They've added so many that there's a lot of like, oh wait, okay, we'll use Proto-Coup just because we're trying to use Proto-Coup more than regular Coup. But there's a lot of clutter now. You have a lot of like Mystic Code clutter, a lot of just useless trash. So if they ever do add any other good ones, that they're just gonna, all those bad ones are gonna be in the way and confuse new players and stuff. Yeah, I think they did make those new Mystic Codes to just be like this band-aid fix, so whales don't have, you know, whales can feel like they're progressing on something, and they don't have to worry, like the devs don't have to worry about it for a really long time because they know it's going to take them forever to get those Mystic Codes up. But who cares? I don't care about whiffing Mystic Code XP. I do on an account like this because it doesn't have the fundamental ones leveled yet. But on like my main or my ult or really any of my accounts that have default leveled up and then Anniversary Blonde leveled up and then just like the Switch Mystic Code just a little bit leveled up, at that point I don't care, right? Like I'll bring what Mystic Code is efficient for what I'm doing at the time, and if I'm doing something so easy it doesn't matter, then maybe I'll work on XP on something else. But yeah, once I got the fundamental ones up, it just doesn't matter because Atlas doesn't require leveling. Sure, it's nice if it's at rank 10 for some of the like really long challenge quests and stuff, but it's not that big of a deal. It is cool though, and I will say if you're a huge Coup fan, and some of those other units that can just have massive survivability, like Mothman or something, it's not a bad idea to have Atlas at 10 because you can have some boss fights and challenge quests where you might use Atlas really early, like on turn 2 or something, and you really can have it come off cooldown before the end of it, and that can make a big difference. So if you do have like a more long-term style unit that you're playing with, like again, like Mothman or something, not bad to level Atlas on the side. It won't make or break you that often, but still. I guess I just throw out this. Wish Beowulf had gotten a Buster card here. Guess I'll do her defense up in case she gets like crit by the assassin or something. Alright, Mordred, don't fail me. I could have done the Mystic Code to make sure you crit, but I figure you'll get it anyway. There we go. My main actually has gotten most of the Mystic Codes to 10, even the ones that aren't that good. Really, the only ones that hasn't are some of the really crappy ones that there's just no point. But I've got a few of the fairly pointless ones leveled anyway. Do the other Star Bomb, but let's save it. Yeah, I'll really, if you're a new account and you have default, that's one of the best ones. You can do the quest to get from London, right? The London Mystic Codes to get the Switch Mystic Code and Atlas. And then with just that, you're basically done. Those 3 is what you really need. And then once you get a few rare prisms, which you can get, a lot of events give out rare prisms for free. You don't always have to burn stuff for it. And then you just buy Anniversary Blonde, and there you go. That's it. And really, Anniversary Blonde is good, because as we've talked about many times, it's one of the only star support Mystic Codes, and like, you might not have a Star Bomb CE, you might not have a lot of units like Mozart and such to make stars, so it's pretty nice to have Anniversary Blonde. But it's not as important as Default and Atlas. Like, Default and Atlas alone will get the job done for most hard content for a free-to-play. Okay, Proto-Q's got Anti-Beast for that Archer, but he doesn't really have any cards. Brave Chain on Beowulf. I have Mordred NP, but Archer, and I don't want to kill the 2 assassins and give it 1,000,000 actions per turn. I'm gonna do that just to add anti-debuff. I gotta Beowulf attack one assassin though, because hopefully Proto-Ku can fuck it up next turn. Deck really not shuffling in a kind way for Proto-Ku. Maybe I should have attacked the Hydra last turn. And he fucked that up real quick though. Jeez, those just 2 quick cards. Boy, did I not want to... Oh good, that's the other debuff. That's not actually so bad. This is such an awkward turn. Please do 10k between those 2 cards. Don't fuck this up. Okay, that's good. Not the best use of Proto-Ku's NP, but it was going to be pretty hard to do that elegantly considering our setup. Now we get Proto-Ku's Buster cards. Thanks, game. 4 turns later. Oh, there it is. The XP hand. Which ended up being a Lancer, so... death. Guess I didn't need to save that Buster up from the Mystic Code that whole time, but I wasn't sure what the final wave was gonna be. Strongest enemy in 5-2. I think it gives you a 5-star Ember, so... I'll take that. That would be funny if they made a raid that was a giant XP hand. And it had like actual gimmicks and stuff. Maybe they give it a health bar, right? Get really spicy. I think, I hate to say this because I don't really like Veach, but Veach's raid was one of the better raids they've ever done in my opinion. That was pretty engaging. It was like still farmable. It wasn't like you had to take it on like a complete challenge quest, but you really did have to approach that extremely uniquely. And it felt, you know, major and like a big deal like it was supposed to. So that was an awesome raid, honestly. The story version of it was kind of obnoxious with the whole buff success down thing. I didn't care for that, but the raid, the farming raid was actually really cool. Okay, I think we fight the twins pretty soon here. I know you fight it like at the forge or whatever. Ow. Yeah, Burgess was pretty great for Veach in general, just because she didn't have like the humanoid thing. You know, she was demonic beast, and she had a good toolkit for like long fights and stuff. So it was really good for a lot of people. She wasn't like the best unit ever for the Veach fight. I mean, really the best was the story support Ibaraki. That was so broken. But that's something it's one thing I really didn't like about that fight was like, it was especially for free to play, it was a bit unreasonable to do it without a strong friend support or the story support. But if you use the story support, it was too easy. So I wish they had, you know, found a better balance there. Like that was kind of silly. Like they just gave Ibuki so many, gimmicks, right? They gave her so many gimmicks. What is this stage? Do you fight the twins with like a trash mob first or something? That might be what it is. You know, let's use Billy. That's always fun. Give him a different CE. Golden Sumo, obviously. You guys are reminding me of a video I just watched where I wanted to slap the shit out of like everyone in the comment section. Because this guy was talking about Berserk, right, the manga. And he was talking about like a specific scene. And the scene, he was talking about Guts and how Guts was killing this guy. And the guy just obviously misspoke and he said Griffith instead of Guts. Even though everything about the sentence he just said was clearly talking about Guts, and the picture on the screen was Guts killing the thing that he was talking about, and everyone in the comment section is like, what do you mean Griffith? What do you mean Griffith? That's Guts! Oh, what do you mean? Like, it's obvious, you just misspoke and said the wrong name, because welcome to being a human, your brain will oftentimes switch names around like that. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, that happens all the time. Literally any YouTube video where somebody misspeaks a name like that, even when the context is just like outrageously obvious that they misspoke, there's always that guy that's like, what do you mean? Alright, well, I'm going to guess you fight an archer and then you fight the twins, but this could just be trash mobs or something. Maybe I should start with one archer just to be safe. Always David, but that would actually potentially take a really long time for Billy to come out, depending on RNG, but I guess it's not that bad. Guess fuck supports. We still don't have, maybe I do another taunt in the back, but we'll do the cat. There we go. Two bros right here. Really don't have a good CE for her. Feels bad. The 3-star in the team has more attack than the 4-star, but it's because of the craft essences. Man, the female version of this looks... I'm so used to the male one, but the female one looks so different. It's actually better. The male one's got the stupid poofy sleeves. Looks terrible. Always hate that kind of fashion. Not gonna happen, Zaw. Not gonna happen. Huh. Guess we're just fighting them at the same time. That's kinda... I don't remember this. Random invincibility. That's kind of absurdly good with them. I kind of want to do David's second skill, even though it won't help the coups, but it's kind of nice for David to have a 4-hit thing there. We could just wait, though. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, well, we really only needed one Lancer, but, whoops. Yeah, we're gonna have some pretty tanky Lancers just hanging out when we're fighting a Saber boss, but... Well, they won't be too tanky, because the boss is Fierce Invulnerability. Damn it, yeah, I don't think it's guaranteed, but... I should have cast that last turn because I'd have had the debuff resistance. But I wanted that crit chance. Maybe we get a lucky crit here though. So I think that would have killed it if I actually had my crit skill up. I think that would have been enough damage to kill it. Maybe just shy because the crit buff wasn't rank 10. So maybe not quite. Here we are fighting our saber boss with 2 lancers. God damn it! You couldn't hit one of the lancers that's like not gonna do anything in this fight? You got well, fucking Christ, dude. That's so bad. Why you gotta be like that? They knew indeed. Well, I guess we just NP for the defense downs. And David had his NP, could have done a lot of damage there. We might lose because of that, we'll see. If we do lose, we'll just bring 1 Lancer, and that'll be a lot better. I want to point out, the only reason Proto Coup did more damage is because he had the defense down from the previous coup. 182. Billy doing just a little bit more damage there. Oh, I wonder why. Honestly, the coups did okay there, all things considered. If they could tank an NP, that would be nice. Might as well invulnerability now because they can't do it for the NP. Well, we definitely brought the wrong Mystic Code. Billy, you couldn't have crit 1 time there, champ. Don't do it again. Don't you do it again. This is bullshit. Fucking bullshit. I mean, if I was playing as them, that's what I would do too. But literally both NPs hit the only archer on the field. Imagine your Lancers living longer than your Archers. We're probably going to lose because of that. No offense to Atalante, but don't exactly have faith in her here. With her Cope Scope 0 attack CE. You're gonna have Mash take the NP, but I'd rather they hit Proto Coup for God's sakes. But the don't seem to want to do that. Do I taunt? Definitely gonna Atalante NP. Yeah, I guess we taunt. I'm not gonna use Mash's NP though. I don't think it's worth it. Actually crit with the 90%. Yeah, we had quite a few 90% crit fail over the last few days. By the way, Coup and Proto Coup did more NP damage than Atalante. That's a little silly. At least Proto Coup did anyway. He did 35, I think. Yeah, he did 35, she did 32. Oh hey, Mash is alive and the boss didn't NP, so that could have actually gone really badly. Can Atalante clean this up? I don't know. I don't know. If Proto Coup lives until the next NP and he happens to be the one to get NP'd, then Atalante probably will. Oh right, she's got. It doesn't matter though. Imagine if David NP. David did nothing. Like, David didn't do anything. I don't think we ever picked one of his normal cards. And he never cast his second skill. And he died before NPing or any of that. He just instantly fell over dead. So, not the best. They might evade this turn. Yep, figured. Getting weird in here. Should have put the art card last. Wasn't a lot I could do that turn, but might as well get a bit more NP gain. Alright, well, it's all up to RNG here. If the NP Proto-Coup will win. And if they don't, we will lose. Because I don't have my NP gain buff, I might not get my NP here, which means I really should have put that art card in third place. Oh my god. The only time they did not laser down the archer was when we had taunt. That was such bad RNG. So dumb, dude. We'll probably do the exact same setup and win. Now, I'm gonna change it. There was no reason to bring two Lancers, but I'm quite confident I could bring the exact same setup and we would win. That was just, I don't think that luck could have gotten much worse there. Okay, how do we want to change it? I might actually use Proto-Coup because of his anti-beast damage, so it's like, it's his time. Maybe start like that. Or maybe start with a taunt, to be honest. Just because of the charisma, maybe start with him. This should be significantly better. Kinda wanna grail her just so she performs a bit better, but she's 1-1-1. That's kind of the problem. This account hasn't had the time to level a lot of skills, so we'll see. Alright, we don't really need this. The stupid snake does have the thing, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. Yeah, and NP1, so 1-1-1-1. And I do have her grailed on my regular ult. And on NA too, I think. But she's cool, you know, she's got the dumb poofy sleeves as well, but still decently cool and also green. I accidentally just ripped out my audio. Hold on, one moment. Okay, I can hear again. MASH, this is not statistically likely. I just like to say that it really is not statistically likely. Okay, I guess we are gonna David skill here. I think I want to go ahead and cast Proto-Coup stuff in case he gets the debuff. It's just, I don't want to waste a whole turn of his anti beast damage when he doesn't have a single card. I mean, definitely the first skill, and I've got a decent chance of either not casting it, like he managed to not cast it, and then we can also resist it because he has magic resist and then more magic resist with the thing. But you know what? Let's be safe. I think I'm gonna regret that, but probably could have had MASH attack the twins instead, but whatever. So the snake gets 2 actions per turn. Yep, he didn't cast it. They're lasering Proto-Coup though. So the first... Oh god. The first hand was nothing but MASH cards, right? The second hand is 4 out of 5 David cards. Now, chat, who do you think we actually wanted cards on, right? Like, we only needed cards for Protoku, and he's got 4 out of 5 in the fucking third hand. Jesus, how does the deck shuffle like that? Someone didn't actually shuffle the cards, right? It's like just fresh out of the pack, and they just switched around the one David and Protoku card there. And they just did that to make it look like they did shuffle because they're being lazy. You know what? I might just attack up Protoku. I mean, he might kill it anyway, to be honest. Yeah, we'll have some faith. Give him that Buster card bonus because he's counterclassing and anti-beast. Yeah, that's plenty. Very nice. Yeah, normally when you get anti-beast, they're not an archer, so it's easy to kind of forget how big that damage can be when they're both. Alright, well, I guess time for David to smack a bitch. I could have saved that attack up for Billy, excuse me. But I don't think we'll need it, so just use it now. Try to get through this first health bar. Yep, now we got Protoku cards when the only enemy is a Saber. Thankfully, we can just use matches NP. We didn't really need to do matches NP there because we still have evaded and vulnerability, but I'm like, what am I gonna do? Use a Protoku card? Yeah, skill steal's actually kind of nice there, even though I don't like them attacking 3 times. They might have cast evade there, so this gives me a chance to break it now. Never mind, won't matter. We're definitely not breaking now. Also, Mash probably going to explode. Mash might live. He's very likely to get crit after. I might even want to bring a buff removal servant because, you know who's good here, chat? Tristan. Because, yeah, he's counterclassing and all that. He gets his MP right away, and he can remove all those crit buffs. Okay, now Mash is super dead. Okay, good. That canceled their turn. That's actually nice. Let's see if we can break with normal cards here. Don't know about that. I mean, Billy could break, but we want to save that. Damn it, Protoku. It's like, second it's just a Saber. Oh my god. Thank God they didn't cast it. I wonder if he skipped it because they were skill sealed on the turn they wanted to cast it. No idea.
Okay.
I like how Billy crit there when he didn't crit last time when he had the Brave chain that all had like medium crit chances. Or medium low, really, but still. Damn. Now, David dying is like the worst outcome possible. I'll do his first kill because it's his best chance of surviving. I guess I can heal Billy, but the odds of him living an NP here, not that good. But David dying is the worst. Because at least Billy can NP before potentially dying, where David's about to NP. We'd probably win regardless, but it'd be really shitty if David died here. Maybe his defense up is enough to save him. I don't know about that. Yeah, 19k. It's because they had, I'm surprised they did that much, but I guess they are single target still. We had 2 defense buffs. Oh yeah, ignore defense, of course. Yeah, that's why. That explains that. We've been here before. Well, we tried. I'm sure Billy can still clean up, it just would have been a lot easier to just NP them, and that's that.
Okay.
I think we still got another archer in the back. And now they got evade up.
Okay. Fire!
Funnily enough, Atlas would have been good here just to do the cooldown reduction on Billy's battery. Yeah, if only Proto 2 had turret, he doesn't even have that. Got armor ignore, just like they do. I can evade if I want to save David, but the only good thing about saving, not David, George. The only good thing about saving George is, if I, nah, it's, I was gonna say the whole deck shuffle, but it's turn 3, so the deck's gonna shuffle anyway. Well, I guess it's a Proto-Coup turn, because I don't know what else I would do here. Well, honestly, that's, you know, it's something. Oh, we got a high roll there, but I'll take it. Yeah, we have another archer, so even if one of the archers gets NP'd, we're fine. Actually, we might just kill here. It's a little underwhelming to kill that way, but... Yep, they're dead. Okay. Having a taunt made that a lot better. I think you fight them again without the snake. And they've got an extra health bar or 2. Proto-Coup survived that entire fight, when at no point did we even attempt to save him. It just worked out that way. Okay, this is the fight I was actually thinking of. Oh, we can go with Billy again. Could try Calamity Jane just to mix it up. The problem with Calamity Jane is this account just can't really work with her that well. She's actually really good. I think she's a much better unit than people give her credit for. But you do need ways to enable the star stuff, and we don't have Star Bomb CEs, we don't have Mozart, we just don't have anything to work with that. But 3-turn Pierce of Vulnerability that's targetable, then a battery, and an evade, and all that, that's all pretty nice. But I think we'll go with Billy. I like Billy more anyway, no offense to Calamity Jane, but her sense of fashion is... bad, shall we say? Look, Zaw, you can't defend, like, rainbow colors, fucking foam finger, laser gun, like, it's not the best. It's just not the best. You might say her fashion is a calamity. I kind of want to do this just for her first skill buff, although it is only rank 1. Well, I definitely want to taunt. Maybe start with Mash into George. That might be slightly too soon for George. Maybe put him there. David might be better than because her skill is rank 1, right? That's just not that great. And David's got charisma, and then David's got a single target NP. The only reason I might put David later is just if I want sure hit later, because I know the boss can evade at the end and stuff. So, could always do Qin Gong and give him like Kane. Oh no, you have to bring Mash. Never mind. I was gonna say you could give him the Caneth CD and he could buff David or something. But yeah, and he could taunt when the turn comes up. He could taunt and on himself. But yeah, we gotta have Mash. What do I want Mash to be replaced with? Could do Martha, because they're divine, and I don't mind the NP seal. Okay, and I guess clean up with Atalante. Probably have her focus on normal card damage and not her NP, because she's NP 1 and AoE, etc, etc. What's the best thing we could do for her normal card damage? I Art of Death normally, but I don't think it's upgraded enough. Yeah, it's not limit broken. Still good. I mean, it's 25% and a decent amount of attack. But this is more attack, and then we do get Buster up. And if she happens to get to a solo, she could Buster every turn. We could do that just for the extra turn from Guts. That's actually probably the way to go. That seems pretty good. Alright, maybe a little weak on the amount of archers we're bringing, but this doesn't look too bad. I mean, the boss is divine, so Martha should give us a lot of damage. Now, see, he wouldn't be that petty, and then I feel like I win if he does that, right? If he changes it to CD, I feel like I'm winning at that point. Maybe I'm just being delusional, but okay, yeah, they get an extra health bar. Although we do have that emote, but it's kind of funny how that that turned out. All right, they get a crit gimmick, I see. They don't have Pierce of Vulnerability yet, so I'm actually going to open with this. I think I have Billy NP right now. It's nice and neat. Go ahead and do the attack up. Yeah, that's not bad. Do a quick chain with attack up. Someone's already taken that name? Oh yeah, jeez. I think I remember seeing that though. Okay, we didn't overkill too much, so that's good. Only 30 stars. That's better than Sanson though. Like, by the way. What a world we live in. Okay, it's pretty likely they're gonna NP again next turn. Guess we go for the crit buffs here. I could do our Billy's third skill just for the crit buff. It's not like it's gonna do much with the way this fight works. Yeah, I think I do that. Kind of weird, but I think that's right.
Okay.
Damn it, I wanted that 60% crit. It was the Buster, that was the big one. Damn. Actually, we might have broke there if that had crit. That'd have been something. Sanson's a DPS. Yeah, having his, his first and third skill, right? All they do is increase his damage. So he's a DPS. In truth, Sanson is a heal bot with debuff clear. That's like all he does. It's fucked up, man. Not a whole lot of NP gain available for David right now. I'm gonna do, I guess I'll do that because maybe she gets that 20% crit with her Black Barrel. Nope. The only time Sanson has like a real DPS use is when you're restricting your account to 2 stars, right? You're cutting 3 stars out of it, and then you're fighting something that's evil, right? Especially if it's an extra class, because if you're doing 1 to 2 stars, you're probably not able to counterclass a lot of the extra classes. So if they're evil, it's like, okay, this is something. That's only if you're cutting out the 3 stars. If you put in the 3 stars, generally Sanson's still pointless, so Okay, very likely that they're gonna NP this turn. Hopefully they just don't kill Billy because he's about to NP again.
了解
Really, could you just kill Mash? It'd be so good if y'all would kill Mash this turn because she's kind of used up her value. Wow, they're actually not NPing here.
ごめんなさい。先
I wonder if they're mental immune or if they're all debuff immune. They have an attack down, but that's a gimmick. I'm guessing it's mental debuff immunity. That's generally how they do it, with sabers especially. Let's
大丈
see.
夫？痛いとこない？
Well, they guarded, but that was just their passive, but we got the seal, so that's all we really needed. The nightmare would be we somehow don't break here, but I'm pretty sure we break here. I just don't want Martha to die. I could have Martha NP right now to just make sure she doesn't die, because they have triple crit buff. I'll give her the evade. The evade's not gonna really do anything later anyway.
行くよ
そうだね。
I could always David NP, but I'd rather not. Okay, we're good. We're good. Billy do good damage. This fight is actually easier than the Chimera one, for the most part. Because you can kind of just shut it down with taunt walls. So many crit buffs there, though. Alright, can we kill them here?
お腹空いてない？
Shame that I can't save that, because Billy could do that next turn and then get that battery, but there's no telling who's going to live or die here.
任せて。
お、巨人か。
受けてみる
じゃあやろうか。
I wish we had David's charisma,
始めるよ。安心か。
but we do still get a lot of buffs, and they both get the anti-divinity. Billy's got the attack up.
ハッピーメリークリスマス。
君には改心する権利がある。では仕方ない。ハメシュアーマニム。
Billy might get this. It's gonna be close, but I think Billy might have
この
this. I
3
mean, he's
なら
level 100,
2戦に
so...
3発それで終わりクライア
Oh yeah, wow, that's nice.
お料
I'll
理して
take
たら
that.
終わってる？
Anti-divinity is so nice. When the enemy actually has divinity, obviously, but there's so much divinity in Lost Belt 5, so... The whole, Olympian god theme in our favor here. Martha taking out pagan gods. That's what that is. Alright, I think Limbo and Doggo are coming up. I don't know if that's next, but that's definitely coming up. And then we got Talos and Grandma. I mean, it's hard to say because you got challenge quests and then you've got, you know, whatever bosses are coming down the road, but there's a lot of bosses with divinity for sure. At least relevant bosses. Obviously, there's countless, like, pointless bosses that aren't hard to beat anyway, but there's a lot of big boy, nasty bosses that have divinity, so it always makes anti-divinity a nice niche. It's especially nice on Ruler Martha, with her having other niches on top of it, so she's almost always going to counter something. It's very common for her to counter something. Okay, this... I don't know what this is. What are we going to go with then? I guess Saber's really effective here. Maybe not Mordred this time. Showing me up there. I got the higher NP rank, but that's about it. Got that Sitting Master. That's quite nice, actually. Maybe we go with a nice vanilla level 80 Sitting Master, so see how he performs. There's also Bedivere. We'll go Sitting Master. We haven't used him in quite a while, I feel like. Do I want to bring a rider? Doesn't hurt. I think the one saber's fine. Maybe it's the beast. You could do both of them. Sure, aren't using much in the way of supports here, but random Asclepius, there you go. I wish I had Origin Bullet, and I just wouldn't even worry about NPing whatever caster's here. I just normal card it down. Although it might have a lot of health, I don't know. What a team. Yeah, it's anti-Greek male specifically, so that one is kind of niche. It comes up an okay amount though. Like there's been a few nasty bosses and some nasty events where it was handy, but it's definitely not the most prevalent one. The good thing is Pinth is super good without her niche, so whenever it comes up, it's just a random bonus, really. Okay, a lot of reinforcements there. Let's go ahead and debuff that guy. Thought about doing Ushi's NP gain buff so Sitting Master would get more, but I don't want to waste her quick up. I can't remember if it works on Zeus or not. I remember checking that, but I don't remember if it worked or not. Let me look it up. Yeah, I remember having that question and checking it out, but that was a while ago. Let's see. He is divine. Nope, he doesn't have it. Yeah, he's divine, mechanical, super large. I bet you though, if they ever add Zeus as a playable character, he's obviously going to be in his like avatar form. Because that's like the ones that are accepted into human history and everything. And that one probably would be Greek male and stuff. But yeah, no luck for Pinth on that one. Thing's got a defense buff. Uchi really struggling to get her NP right now. I have Sitting Master NP a caster. Oh, that thing's healing too. Okay, you know what? This is a... If I had Foresight, I would have just attacked the caster then, because I kind of wasted my normal card damage on that guy. But because he's healing, I kind of just want to grab his Art Chain. And that's that. Not the best NP on Sitting Master, but hey, it looks cool though. Let's see. I wouldn't be shocked if the gods in their mecha form don't have traits. I know Artemis does when she's in her terminal form, but she's the only Olympian god that has a terminal form that's playable. Like you see it in gameplay, right? Let's see on the other ones though. Alright, Demeter is divine, mechanical, super large, so I bet you that's the same for Aphrodite. It looks like they're all like that. A bit strange, but... Man, Demeter's like giant halo thing is a little dorky to be honest, but still cool design overall. Yeah, the Olympian soldier got weaved. I guess there is a chance that they might add, like Aphrodite or something for Valentine's Day. It's not out of the question. I kind of doubt it. I do have hope for them getting added eventually, but I think it might be way down the road. But I don't know, Valentine's Day, they could do something like that. Yeah, Artemis's mech form's not too bad. I don't like it as much as Mars, but it's actually not so bad. I think Mars is the best, and then like Poseidon and Artemis. Those ones are pretty decent. I think they might do something near the end of 2.0 where like the Lost Belt Kings come back or something. I could see something like that happening. Maybe we'll see Zeus again that way. But who knows? I think the ending's going to be somewhat unpredictable. Manucci crit, 50%, let's go. Damn it. I mean, that wasn't really the Lost Belt Kings, though. I mean, it was more like Ivan's Mammoth, and not even Ivan, and certainly no God Juna or any of that. But there's really no telling, because there's just not enough information to know what direction they're gonna go with the ending of the Lost Belt. Like, hell, we might go to, like, another planet, or in Cthulhu realm. I mean, who knows, right? Like, the options are still pretty big. Oh yeah, I definitely think Arjuna, we're gonna get other CEs like the Void Dust one. We're probably gonna get other copies of the Void Dust one eventually, and then we'll also get copies for like hero proofs and bones and that kind of stuff, so. It would be pretty weird if they dropped that concept immediately. When they released it, they were talking about it and, you know, saying they were gonna add more of it and stuff. Now sure, they've dropped concepts before, but I don't think they're gonna stop that one. That being said though, I don't think it's a good system. By all means, give us ways to get those core mats easier, but I don't think adding craft essences for them is a good idea. That's just too much clutter. Like imagine once you've got like 7 CEs for different mats, like that's just way too much clutter. I think they should have just like given you a passive for God's sakes that just straight made it easier to get those. Like once you do the stage, the drop rate on those mats just increased forever. Or yeah, like main interludes. I think you're referring to them dropping concepts, but you could put like actual event shops in the main interludes, so you could get like hero proofs and void dust from those. You know, that's a better way of addressing it. I think the CEs are just super cluttery, but I'll take it over nothing, right? I'm not going to complain about boosting the drop rate on hero proofs and such. Guess I cast Guts here. I'm guessing this guy heals again. Hoping for a good crit turn here. I only made 1 star. Okay, maybe next turn we do that. It's not about the picture being easy to see because... Okay, let me explain why. Okay, chat. One second. I gotta hook up my phone here. Come on, Samsung Dex. Make this simple for once in your life. Sometimes when you like plug in Dex, it like instantly picks up your phone. But more times than not, it just doesn't. And then you have to unplug your phone and plug it back in again. And sometimes like multiple times. It's very silly. I have no idea what causes that. And it's something that they're aware of too. They even put in like their UI when you start up Dex. It's like, if it doesn't detect your phone, just unplug it and plug it in again. It's like, it's that common of a thing. Like the picture, it doesn't even matter. Like the picture is just so irrelevant to why this is a problem. Alright, let me resize my screen here. little bit smaller. Close enough. Okay. So, look at this shit. Like, there's a lot of CEs that have extremely recognizable pictures, and they still take forever to find, because the longer you play this game, and by the way, listen to me, this problem gets worse. Every time there's an event, it's not like they keep adding more craft essences, right? Every event, we get more craft essences. So it's not like, it's so easy to look at the game and act like it's like in a time capsule and things never change. But there's going to be more craft essences. I mean, look at this shit. I cannot tell you how often I'm looking for like Calamity Jane CE or just my fucking bond boost one, like the not the one with the green background, but the one like the one that's 15% to your friends and 5% for yourself or whatever. It takes me forever to find that, because look at all this shit. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's nonsense. And a lot of these have like effects that are useful occasionally, right? So you can't just throw them in your second storage like this. You know, sometimes you need that taunt, right? Here's a star bomb, and you're like, oh, but there's a lot of other star bombs that are better. But this one has a lower team cost, right? And I've had times where I need a star bomb, but I don't have the team cost to use a 5-star one, so I have to use this one. It's happened, so I need it, right? And there's just, I mean, look at this shit, right? It's utterly ridiculous how long it can take to find some of these CEs, right? So it doesn't matter what the hell the picture is. The problem is, it's like, for example, your Void Dust one. Let's say you have a Void Dust one, and that one's level 15. So you gotta scroll down until you find your level 15-ish ones. And then your Hero Proof one, Super Successed. So it's like level 18, but you don't remember that. So you're like, where's my Hero Proof one? And you're looking in the 15 section, and you just can't find it. And you're like, oh fuck, it's in the 18 section. And then you're like, what about the Bone one? I don't even know. Maybe it's, you know, it's like, you're just gonna be like scrolling all over the place, and you might be in like an event where like you're mixed like case files where the farming, you're switching up what stage you're doing, and so you're having to rapidly, you know, change which drop CE you need, because eventually you're gonna have like 8 of these drop CEs. I mean, it's awful. Like, the CE system is already awful, and it's already like really obnoxious to like switch between your max QP CEs and your max bond CEs, because again, they're not going to be all nice and neat and all next to each other. No, dude, the filters suck, dude. Like, the filters suck. I always like people acting like using the filters helps. The filters doesn't help, right? Like, 'cause first off, you can't read moon runs. Also, this UI is horribly slow, and you have to scroll down forever. And then when you turn one on, and you find your thing, then you have to go back and then turn it off, right? Like, this shit's terrible. Like the filter system is completely useless. Like, it's completely useless. And I like people saying sorting by level is a beginner's mistake. Like, go fuck yourself. I've been playing this game for like 6 years. I know way. I guarantee you, I've been playing this longer than you have. And it doesn't matter, right? Like, sorting by level is the most consistent way. And the reason why sorting by level is the most consistent way is because the CEs you use a lot are going to be the ones that are leveled the most, right? So you can find them the easiest, right? It's not hard for me to find Golden Sumo, Black Grail, you know, my typical Gut CE here. You know, all of these are really easy to find, right? So the sorting by level is easily the best way to get through your stuff, because like all this stuff from like 30 and up, that's the stuff I'm going to use like all of the time, right? That's the stuff I use like all of the time. But there are, especially for things like, you know, the bond stuff, or you know, these new CEs, you know, for Void Dust, you know, and Hero Proofs and all that. That kind of stuff is useless to level, right? It's a waste of XP to level them, but you're going to want to use them for farming often. You're not going to use them for challenge quests in main story, but you're going to use them for farming often, but you're also going to have to switch them often, right? And so there's just no better way to do this than level. Like, there's absolutely no better way. Now, what some people are probably going to do, which this is like copium for the, like, it doesn't actually make it a good system, they're going to level the farming ones a lot so they're easier to find. I guarantee you people are going to do that, but that's a waste of XP, and although that might make your life easier, that doesn't justify a terrible system. The thing is, again, it's not easy to use the filter system, right? That does not like make up for how bad of a system. Like, how are you defending this system with these reasons, right? Like, why? Give me someone, instead of defending it, saying it's not so bad, give me a reason why it's good. Give me one reason why trying to make drops better through a fucking craft essence is good. What's good about that? Like, what on earth is the positive of that when you could just universally boost the drop rate on that thing? If you're like, you know what, Void Dust is too hard to get. How is the answer? So let's make some convoluted system where we add a fucking craft essence that you have to equip to make Void Dust a higher drop rate. Why don't you just boost the drop rate on Void Dust? Like, hello? Like, how is that even a debate here? Like, that's the obvious fix here. Because, like, there's no, it's not like it would not take some revolution for them to fix this. It's not like you have to, you know, rip out the game systems to fix these problems. These are very rudimentary, basic bitch problems, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel to fix this stuff. It's actually the opposite. They're putting in more effort to make convoluted systems. It is easier to just go into the code and change like a 4 to a 5 to make the drop rate higher. That's not complicated, right? Adding new craft essences is way more complicated, right? They are putting in more work to make the game more annoying and more convoluted and not future-proof. And this is a problem FGO has had over and over again, where they do things not thinking about the future, right? They add new systems for like a short-term reward for the player base to incentivize people to play the game more, and they don't think about how like convoluted these things will get in the future, right? Like look at command codes, right? Now command codes are a good idea from a gameplay standpoint in terms of like the idea of like modifying your cards. But look at this, Let me show exactly what I'm talking about. You know, when command codes were first added, they weren't that hard to deal with because you only had a few command codes at a time. But like command code, I'm not even going to get into like the typical thing I talk about with command codes, right? Like how just horrible the UI is with having to play an animation when you equip and unequip them, and you know all that. That's not even what I'm getting into. Like that's a huge problem, but that's just UI stuff. But look at this, right? If I'm wanting like a defense removal command code, right? Maybe I'm fighting a boss, right? Where I want the boss who's like consistently puts up a defense buff, and you're going to be rotating like the units for the challenge quests or whatever, and so you need different units to have defense removal command codes, because there's like 5 or 6 defense removal command codes now, right? There's a lot of them. There's no good way to deal with that, right? You have to look at all these just random pictures that don't mean anything, right? None of this means anything, and again, they're just going to add more. Right? It's gone from like it wasn't a problem to it's a slight problem, now it's a big problem, and it's going to be a bigger problem, right? I mean, it's like, look at how many fucking command codes there are, right? And, you know, a filter system's a good idea, but these filters don't even apply to command codes very well, so they don't separate them very good. And that's just, again, that's so clunky, right? What a lot of games do that actually have good UI design and actually want to take advantage of having a touchscreen. Imagine being a mobile game and taking advantage of having a touchscreen. Like what I'm about to describe is not some big brain thing. This is actually pretty basic bitch stuff for touchscreen and like mobile game design. You filter in like pillars. You don't do this whole click a thing, you do the one at a time, and then you have to go back and then turn it off and then turn another one. No, like that's fucking caveman thinking for UI design. You set up like basic pillars, so like, you know, a 4th or a 5th of the screen is like, okay, this pillar, you know, like where Hijikata is here, you know, this pillar is like all offensive stuff, you know, maybe you have like 2 rows or whatever, 2 or 3 rows, that's all offensive ones. You have another pillar, it's defensive ones. You have another pillar that's, you know, utility ones, and then you can have it where you can scroll sideways, or you can just like turn on certain pillars on and off. That's so much faster. So then you can just see all of your offensive ones. Like, okay, I need defense removal. That counts in this pillar. I just look in that pillar and find it. And you can have the same craft, or the same command code show up in multiple pillars if it has multiple effects, and that's fine. And look at like this bar on the side here, where I'm clicking over here. This is the most underutilized thing of all time, right? These things do nothing, right? They're just stupid. Like this This right here, this should be buried in a menu because this is fucking pointless. No one's going to be clicking that. You're not going to be like, oh wow, while I'm sorting through my menu, I need to rotate between the different sizes. No, you're just going to pick the one size you like and keep it like that. That should be buried in this menu because that's fucking pointless, right? Most of that kind of stuff should be buried in a menu. This should be like a way to filter through your pillars or something, right? You should be able to set up presets. You can even make it simple. This one that I'm clicking, this could be 1, this could be 2, and this could be 3, right? And then you can literally assign what you want to be in filter 1, filter 2, and filter 3. This is just basic bitch stuff. This is not reinventing the wheel. This is like incredibly simplistic stuff. And like the DW, which I guess isn't DW anymore, now we're Lasagna, they just don't do a good job of using like their own UI space. Now thankfully they're hiring a new UI lead and hopefully they'll slap some sense into this fucking company. Because, like, look at this. Why do I have to go into an individual card, click it one at a time, click the thing, and then watch it fucking animate just for one command code? Why do I need to do this? Like, literally, why do you need to do... Why, when you go into this UI, look at all this dead space. Why do we need all of this dead space? What does any of this do? Like, we don't need any of this. And, like, this up here doesn't need to be so big. You don't need this shit. I don't need to see this command code's picture twice. That's pointless. All of this space should be reused to have your buster card up here. Like, okay, so we got 2 busters, 2 art, and a quick, right? You just put that in this UI. You got your quick card, your 2 art cards, and your buster card, and then you use your touch screen and you drag and drop the command code directly into the slot, right? And then you don't have to watch some stupid animation like, oh man, you're equipping and unequipping this. Why would you, like, why do you need this? Imagine having a animation play when you equip a craft essence. That's so nonsense. And again, I'm not describing things that are even remotely complicated. Most of this stuff is simpler than what they do, right? The stuff that they do is complicated because they just like make all these weird menus that you have to filter through over and over and go through menu after menu after menu. That's actually more complicated to implement most of the time, and it's significantly less user-friendly. You know, all these ideas I'm throwing out are not big brain stuff. The ideas I'm throwing out could actually be improved upon. My ideas are actually basic bitch stuff that a proper UI designer could improve upon dramatically, right? But I'm still throwing out stuff that is significantly better than the garbage that they do, right? And like every time they want to do something in FGO, they always do it in the hardest way possible, right? And no one is actually meeting my challenge of giving me a reason why these are good ideas. Like, why is it a good idea to boost Void Dust drop rate through a craft essence instead of just boosting its fucking drop rate, right? And another example is strengthening quests, right? It's like, oh wow, all those day 1 servants we didn't give 3rd skills to. And instead of just giving them a 3rd skill like we do for new units, like when Baldy got added, he just came with a 3rd skill, right? When Ricky Boy got added, he just comes with a 3rd skill. You don't have to unlock the damn thing. You know, but for the old units, no, we can't just give them a 3rd skill. No, you gotta send them an extra time, and then you have to do a fucking quest that has no story, has boring as fuck gameplay, takes like hundreds of AP, and then you unlock the 3rd skill. Why? Why would you do it that way? That is more work, right? That's more effort. You have to actually make the stage, you have to pick the enemies, set their health. You could just add the goddamn 3rd skill. You don't have to do all this other bullshit. And like for some reason, DW, which you know now is Lasagna, but you know, let's be real, the new company hasn't actually done anything yet. Anyway, DW would always pick the option that like gave them short-term content to give people something to do. I swear that's why they made it a craft essence, so you had to do a stage to unlock the craft essence, right? They're just thinking to give you something to do in the short term, and then they don't think about growing pains. And then here we are, you know, 7 years into the game, and FGO is like this bloated pus monstrosity, right? Like, why? Or why do we have all these insane UI? I mean, look at the fucking upgrade menu. Is anyone gonna defend this? I mean, look at this. If you want to upgrade 1 servant, you have to go in and out of like 8 fucking menus, and then your Noble Phantasm one is way down here for some reason, and yet we've got a whole UI dedicated to the costume dress that you're going to use for like 7 seconds once a month, maybe, right? Like it's normally like once every 3 months. You know, meanwhile, it's just mixed in with all these other things you need to use daily. And it's like, what is this? Like, this is nuts. And again, day 1 of FGO, this UI made some degree of sense. But now here we are way later, and you know, the bloat is rather obvious. You know, clearly you should be able to go to like a menu more like this one, and then just click the servant, and then everything for that servant, what you want to do to upgrade them is right there, right? Like literally every other game does. But you know, FGO is just, you know, a dinosaur in a tar pit here, and then you know, people are always defending this goddamn company and acting like, you know, these weird convoluted decisions on their part is like, you know, all the best they could do with the circumstances. It's not. Normally, it's actually the worst thing they could do with the circumstances. Like this CE thing, it's harder to implement what they did, and it's worse for the game in the long run. That's not them working with existing systems. That's them making a new system that's really stupid and is not even remotely future-proof. Like, it's gonna get so dumb when you've got like 8 fucking craft essences to unlock. Like, great, another thing for like, it's already annoying on a new account to have to do all your like 80 third skill unlocks and all, you know, Ushi's NP upgrade and her second skill upgrade and her first skill upgrade. You know, it takes forever to get through all that stuff. And now you're gonna have to unlock like 10 fucking craft essences. And then you're gonna have to remember, you know, where all of them are in your, you know, cluster fucked inventory. And then you're like, you could have just boosted the drop rate on Void Dust. Look how simple that is. You just boost the drop rate on Void Dust. That's it. That's all there is. Like, that's it. You're done. And there's no problem here. But no, we need more convoluted dog shit in this stupid fucking video game. Anyway, back to Olympus here. If I can find my OBS thingy here. There we go. Yeah, I always like when people get surprised that I'm ranting, and then they try to be like the arbitrator of my content. Great look, by the way. Let me go into a stream I know nothing about with hundreds of people and try to dictate the way the stream's gonna go. Yeah, I'm totally gonna listen to you. Okay, On the one hand, I really wanna blast this saber. Okay, George is gonna eat the NP. Just crit forehead. Not as bad. Oh god, I remember Monster Hunter though. Oh my god, that was just. I could not believe how many people would just. It wasn't just my stream. I'd see even other people's streams. You know, you'd have these people that played Monster Hunter on console. And when it came out on PC, you'd have these people actively start seeking out streams of people playing the game for the first time, and they were just looking to like backseat the hell out of them. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, who does this? You know, you go into a stream, you know, the streamer's probably been a streamer for a long time, and you just start, you know, blurting all this shit out like you run the place. It's like, you are such a fucking moron. And I bet you it's gonna happen with Elden Ring, man. There's gonna be some drive-bys. I'm gonna have to appoint like 2 or 3 new mods before Elden Ring, because I know that's going to be a whole thing. You're going to have backseating spoilers, right? It's going to be a whole combo of nonsense. Alright, maybe we just have Ushi NP the Chimera, because that actually kills people. Yeah, I'll grab a few extra mods. I need some new mods anyway. I haven't had the time to deal with like filtering through people, so I haven't even made a post about it just because I just don't have the time. I need to just take like a day off to deal with some you know, various side things for the stream like that. I don't want to do a weak follower mode, and I keep telling people this, like, I don't want to do that at all. Like, I don't mind having follower mode on for like an hour or something, but I'm never going to do a weak follower mode, ever. I'm never going to do that. Because that's punishing a lot of people that aren't the culprits, right? Because most, like even in Elden Ring, the overwhelming majority of drive-bys that will come by my stream or anyone else's stream are not going to be a problem. Most of them won't even talk. Most of them are just going to sit back with their popcorn and, you know, watch a stream. and then they might want to chip in, you know, every once in a while or something. But that's that. So I don't want to. I'm not gonna make it so you have to watch my stream for a fucking week before you get to say anything, right? Because someone might find my stream, you know, when playing FGO, Elden Ring, whatever, and like it, and they just want to, you know, chat like a normal human being, right? And I'm not gonna make them wait a week, right? That's just way too much. Like, you know, making them wait an hour or two, that's fine, right? Because if I really like his stream and I see it's got follower mode on for like an hour, I'm like, oh yeah, I can wait an hour. That's, you know, that's fine. But yeah, I'm not gonna make someone wait a week. That's way too much. And generally, if you're that big of an asshole, you're not gonna wait even an hour, right? Like, so if they're gonna come by and be like a snarky asshat, or they're wanting to, because here's the thing, most people that are looking to backseat because they're wanting to do it to like show off and feel like a big man or something, like, oh man, I've already played the game, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they're looking to show off, and they're gonna just jump streams until they find someplace they can show off, right? So if they find my stream, they're like, oh, I can't talk here, they'll just leave. They're just gonna leave, and they're gonna find a different stream where they can talk, and so that's someone else's problem. God, Lost Belt 6 was another miserable one. That was what I hate about that, and because this is just like a personal pet peeve of mine, and you know, it's not like a good character trait of mine, but I think it's a very common one, and I think it's understandable. I get so annoyed when like people are trying to like belittle you or act like they know more than you when they don't even know more than you, right? Like, and they're literally too stupid to even understand like what's happening. Like, it's like they'll comment when I'm doing like the 1 to 3 star account, and they're like, you know, why are you doing this or that? You should be doing this or that, when like that's not even in like the rules, and like they just have no idea what they're talking about. Like, I get so annoyed by that. Like when people will come by and like try to act like, you know, oh, you're stuck on this boss. This boss was so easy. But then they have literally no idea what you're doing, and like, you know, how much harder it is when you're restricting yourself and those kinds of things. And it's, I get that. That gets so annoying, and like that was so prevalent in Lost Belt 6, and also people just spoiling shit, and like Fluffy got so spoiled, dude. Thankfully the mechanics didn't, but like that fight got so fucking spoiled because people just cannot shut the fuck up. It does suck too because, you know, there was some fun gameplay in Lost Belt 6, but that was one of my least favorite times. Lost Belt 5 was one of my favorite times in FGO because thankfully, like, there just wasn't that much bullshit, and my mods did a really good job of shutting it the hell down. And so nothing really got spoiled in Lost Belt 6. There wasn't that much backseating and whatnot. And Lost Belt 6, or I'm sorry, Lost Belt 5, seen Lost Belt 5 too. I just really liked the story anyway. Like, I really liked, you know, I love Greek mythology. I'm a big fan of it, and it was really cool seeing all that. And then, you know, Mars versus Zeus and everything. All that was great, and it didn't get spoiled. None of it got spoiled. None of it. And so that was like my best experience with FGO ever. Like, really, streaming 5.2 was my best experience, I think, in FGO. And then Lost Belt 6 was one of my least favorite experiences because that was like, there was more people in the stream than ever, and there was, you know, it was just more rowdy than normal. Because I guess people were really hype about Lost Belt 6 or something. And I also just didn't like Lost Belt 6, right? I didn't like the premise very much. I didn't like the story very much. I didn't like all the filler. There was so much filler. And then there was just so much backseating. That was just atrocious. Honestly, I kind of wish I had just played Lost Belt 6 off stream. But there was no way to predict that it was gonna... It just got really hyped, right? Lost Belt 6 had a lot of hype behind it. It kind of blew up, and yeah, it got pretty obnoxious. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, it might happen again for like whatever the final Lost Belt is, but I don't think it'll, that really was an abnormal amount of like interest in FGO, and it was because of like, you know, Oberyn Vortigern was really popular, although they didn't know it was Vortigern back then, but like, you know, that character was really popular. Nasu being involved with it was kind of publicized. You know, people really liked like the, you know, Camelot stuff is always exciting to people and everything. So it just, and Morgan, right? So like, it was just, there was so much like hype around it that it got kind of ridiculous. Oh, thanks, Poi. So glad you remembered. Now, Veach wasn't really that hyped because it wasn't really main story. And like, Veach was super unhyped because everything happened at like some ungodly hour at night. Because most of the major stuff that happened in that event were the time-limited raids. And from like where I live, that happens between like 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. every night. And so that was not a lot of hype around that. You know, people obviously talked about the boss fight at the end and all that, but you know, it wasn't really a main story. It was just an event, and it was a very bare bones event, really. So that really wasn't a big deal. I didn't even stream it just because I wasn't going to be streaming at fucking 5 a.m. Like, no thanks. No, VODs on Twitch are not saved forever. Also, I don't know why people don't understand this. I intentionally did not save those VODs. Like, I've gone over this many times. People are always wanting to see the Lost Belt 6 VODs, and like, I intentionally nuked them. Like, of course I did. It was just the worst streaming experience I've ever had in my life. Why would I want to archive that? Okay, what the hell? We're like every class under the sun here. Let's go Beowulf here. You know, those are way before the VOD channel, I'm pretty sure, and Twitch doesn't keep VODs forever. But yeah, it gets, you know, it's a nitpick, you know, and you gotta, as a streamer, you really just gotta get over it. But it's still, like, I think, a understandable annoyance, you know, when you are a streamer, is you have so many people that try to, like, dictate and arbitrate what your content and channel should be like. It's just absurd. Like, it's completely absurd. It's not absurd if they don't like your content. Like, if someone doesn't like my personality, never mind streaming, just like in life, you know, in a personal, interpersonal relationships with humans, you know, if someone doesn't like me and doesn't like the way I act or talk, or that's fine. That's completely fine. That's within their reason and all that. But people have this, like, weird, like, creepy, like, they overly identify with streamers and like what streamers they watch, and like they make like it's like a badge of honor that I like XQC but I don't like this other streamer. It's fucking weird, and like they want to like dictate what streamers should and shouldn't do, and like how they should and shouldn't act, instead of just being arbitrating themselves and, you know, like being, oh, I don't like people that do this, so I won't watch them, right? Instead, they gotta be like, oh wow, this streamer likes doing this or doesn't like doing it's stupid, right? It's stupid. Now, obviously, there's limits, like when, you know, criminal activity from streamers and whatnot. That's completely different. But that really annoys me when people, like, you know, I have like some people saying, you know, oh, I should be ranting. Other people saying I shouldn't be ranting. It's like, I'm just gonna be me, thanks. And you know, every time someone comes by and like tries to dictate the way my stream should be, I'm just like, if you know, if you feel that way, go make your own stream, right? And if you think a stream should be run a certain way, then either watch other streamers that do run it that way, because I'm sure they're out there, you know, there's so much variety, you know, or do it yourself, right? Don't try to get me to behave the way you want me to, because that's not going to happen. Okay, so this is just every class ever. There's really no way I'm going to be able to line stuff up. Maybe I go actually with Mordred, because there is Lancer and Berserker, so Saber is like really good, and Mordred's awesome at neutral, so. And I just like using Mordred because she's one of my favorite characters, so imagine that concept, chat. We'll still put in Beowulf though. Okay, what else is good here? Technically Caster's good, but we don't have a lot of options there. We'll do this. Man, I really do wish Beowulf had gotten a more, I don't know, grounded design, you know, more like how Romulus, Super Romulus, has the 3 stages that are all really different, and his first 2 stages are kind of like what you would expect out of a Roman servant, right? I wish they'd had at least one stage for Beowulf that more like that. Because I really like his character and everything, and his voice acting. It's just, all 3 stages are exactly the same. None of them fit the character at all in terms of like, you know, his legend and all that. Yeah, Odysseus is another one. I wish he had gotten one. Yeah, sadly we don't ever get costumes, so but yeah, if he had gotten like chainmail or leather armor or just whatever, like, or just, you know, just more grounded, you know, stuff, I would have been really happy with that, because I'm a huge Beowulf fan, but I really don't like his fashion, and it's just boring, right? All 3 of his stages are pretty much the same. It feels fan fiction-y. Does anyone else feel that way? It's like they didn't want to put any effort into Beowulf, so instead of giving him actual ascension stages, they just it's like this looks like a Sonic fan character where they take a Sonic character and they like just color swap them and switch their arms out for another character's arms or whatever, right? That's what this looks like. I mean, look at his weapon. It's black, blue, and like edgy blood red stuff. Like, what the fuck is that? Right? Like, it's ridiculous. And then the other sword's on fire, right? Like, it's just, it's so fan fiction-y. I do not care for it. And this one's obviously better. That one's not as bad, but you know, that's just like, they're all the same and they just become progressively more Sonic fan fiction, right? That's very much how I see it. Evil Ryu, yeah, like, it's just like, god damn it, could we have just gotten, you know, something a bit more normal? Because other than his fashion and how lazy his ascensions are, I really like him, right? And they did do a good job of representing his legend through his like abilities and his Bond CE and his voice lines. Like overall, they did a good job, right? It's just the design that's kind of eh. You can keep the flaming sword, right? But like, you know, it's just making one of the swords flaming and the other one like just blue, red, edgy nonsense. It's not exactly an inspired design, right? Like, I'm not like offended by a sword being on fire. I'm just saying it. Like, imagine for example, right? If it was more like Romulus, right? So like the first 2 stages are a lot more grounded and more true to like what you might expect from the legend. And then the third one's a bit over the top. You get your flaming sword and whatnot, but it's over the top more like Romulus, not like, again, Sonic fan fiction, right? Like that's a better way to do Ascensions. The problem is when they do a good job on Ascensions, right? And it actually does like fit and you get good options, like with Romulus, that takes more work. And that's why it doesn't happen a lot, because it's just, they don't want to put in that kind of work to a lot of the characters, right? Like some of the really popular characters, they'll do it for, and they do it every once in a while for like a unique concept, like I don't know, Valkyrie or something, like with the unique voice acting for each stage. But yeah, it's more work, and so a lot of the male characters especially, but really just any of the characters that they're not, you know, putting a lot of effort into, like the 1 to 4 stars, really, it's the 1 to 4 stars are a lot more likely to have ascension stages that are just very basic. You know, things don't change too much. Like what's her name? Zenobia. Zenobia, I think a big reason why she didn't get like a stage like with her armor or any armor or anything just different is because you'd have to completely redo her animations. Her animations are very tied to like the basic design. And, you know, if you wanted to like make new animations to fit, you know, her wearing armor or something, or just anything different, you'd have to make new animations. And she's a 4-star and not super popular, so they're just not going to bother. But honestly, I don't even know why Romulus got the good treatment, because he got the 3 stages and he got some different animations. They're not the most inspired animations, but he does have different animations. I actually think they thought Romulus was going to be more popular than he was. He unfortunately didn't sell that well. He didn't sell terribly, but he didn't sell that well. Funnily enough, though, he sold better than some of the other stuff that some people you might expect to be popular, right? Like he sold better than Karen. He sold better, I think, than Space Ishtar. Sold better than Galatea and stuff like that. But unfortunately, Romulus didn't. It did not sell that well, which that sucks. I really wish he had. Yeah, Galatea sold really bad. Galatea and Karen both sold like crap. And, you know, Karen kind of surprised me that she sold like crap, but looking at it in hindsight, it's actually not that surprising. And I think the reason a lot of people thought Karen was going to do well, and it's just because, like, this is really hard to articulate. This is a concept that's kind of difficult to put into words, but like, there's a lot of times where there's like a meme from a book or like a part of the franchise, that's like all it has. and like it just gets repeated a lot, and there's nothing else that people will talk about from that side of the franchise, and so people assume it's popular, right? It's kind of like Muramasa, right? It was such a meme that when's Muramasa getting added? When's Muramasa getting added? When's Muramasa getting added? And of course, because he's based on Shiro, of course it's gonna, you know, catch on, and it makes people think that that's like what the community wants more than anything, but it's not. It's just something that, you know, everyone is going to repeat, but like Muramasa didn't sell that well either, right? He really wasn't that hyped. It was just, of course they're going to talk about that all the time because it's Shiro, and you know, what else were they going to say about like the Fate Stay Night stuff, because there wasn't much else to talk about. And Karen is one of those things where she's kind of an obvious thing for them to add, and she has some fans, and those fans were very vocal, and that those few fans being vocal makes people like on Reddit and Discords and stuff kind of get the vibe that she's really popular, but she really isn't. And a lot of people didn't even know who the hell she was, because a lot of people have never even read Fate Hollow. And a lot of normal fucking human beings don't actually use Reddit and Discord and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it really didn't translate, and she ended up, you know, she's kind of unknown to most people, and she's kind of wacky, and she sold like crap. So yeah, it's easy to kind of look at, you know, the surface on Twitter and Reddit or whatever, and be like, oh wow, this thing's really popular because I see posts about Karen all the time. But then in actuality, almost no one actually uses Reddit, and Karen's not popular at all. Like I saw a guy, I just randomly stumbled on a guy talking about this. I found his channel through other things. He wasn't talking about Attack on Titan, but I just stumbled onto his channel, and then he had a video talking about Attack on Titan, and he was talking about like, he couldn't understand how like people wouldn't know about spoilers from Attack on Titan, because you can't go anywhere on the internet with seeing spoilers about Attack on Titan. And I'm over here like, I don't know a single spoiler for Attack on Titan, because I couldn't even tell you. I haven't followed it in the slightest. I know nothing. I don't know like the state of the anime, if they still make the anime. I don't know anything, right? I have no fucking idea. And I'm like, and it's because most people don't use like a lot of these websites. You know, most people aren't on Twitter typing in Attack on Titan. They're not on. They don't go to the Attack on Titan Reddit. Even Attack on Titan fans, a lot of them, because I have some friends that are Attack on Titan fans, and they don't have a fucking clue about any of that, because they don't. Like my brother, you know, follows a lot of like different, you know, IPs and stuff. He's got his own interests and stuff, but he doesn't use Reddit for any of them. None of them. I'm not even kidding. He did not know. He's a huge fan of like the From Software games, right? He PvPs in them a lot. He replays them a lot. You know, he's really excited for Elden Ring and all that stuff. I'm not kidding you. A few days ago, he texted me and he was like, "Wow, did you know that George R.R. Martin is like was in the writing process for Elden Ring?" He's like, "I had no idea." I'm like, how did you not know that? Because it's like that was the only thing they advertised for it. But it's because he doesn't. He's a sane human being. He doesn't use Reddit. He doesn't, you know, do that. He doesn't, you know, keep track of trailers and everything. So even though he knows about Elden Ring existing, he's looking forward to it. He had no idea, right? And like George R.R. Martin being involved in Elden Ring is so much more common knowledge than like Karen from the Fate, you know, franchise, or, you know, Attack on Titan plot points, or, you know, or whatever, right? It's way more prevalent than that. It's actually really easy for people to not, you know who the hell Karen is, even if they are a Fate fan. And it's really easy for, you know, someone not to know the ending of Fate Zero, right? They might have watched all the other stuff, but unless you're seeking it out, you're really not going to get Fate Zero spoilers most of the time. So yeah, it's actually really easy for things that seem to be common knowledge, seem to be passed around all the time. So you might feel like, oh, you have to live under a rock not to know this thing, but it's actually not the case, right? For a lot of stuff, that's not the case at all. Like my friend Cairo hasn't seen Lord of the Rings, and I doubt he actually knows most of the plot points for Lord of the Rings. Like I doubt he knows. He might not know any, to be honest. Like unless you're seeking it out, it's actually pretty easy to just never learn about that kind of stuff. It really is funny how different my brother is from me. One of these days I should get him on stream to talk about like medieval weaponry or whatever, but like he is just nothing like me. We get along really well, but like we have things in common. Like we have similar interests with video games. We like skillful things. You know, we like medieval stuff. We like history. We have loads in common, but our personalities just could not be more different. Yeah, Bronako, that's a funny nickname there. Do I want a George NP? He's got Cope Scope, so, and he's got no foe items, so it's basically going to do no damage. But it's probably, I don't even have a Buster card, so I might as well.
お見せしましょう。
任せな。よっしゃ。
Take the Star Bomb command code over the 10% crit. You know what, let's get some more upbeat music here.
アスカロン。
Yeah, it's a dragon, and Beowulf's a dragon slayer, so there you go. Beowulf actually does have an anti-dragon skill now, so that's pretty cool.
まだです。
My brother doesn't really have a standout favorite color. He likes colors and, you know, plenty of, like, ways to use them. Like, oh, that looks really good, or that's a really good design, or whatever, but he doesn't really have a specific color that is his favorite, as far as I'm aware. He's one of those... You know, it's nice to see that, Arjuna. I've talked about that before. I think red is a pretty cool color, and it's got a lot of uses. But I hardly ever... I see lots of people that like red, but I don't see a lot of people that are like, yeah, red's my favorite color. I don't see that much at all. Yeah, I like brands and tans a lot. I always say, like, after green, it's probably browns and tans. I really like those, like, earthy colors. Yeah, I know Poi's a big purple fan. Purple's in like that weird category where like it's decently popular, but it's certainly not as popular as like blue, right? It's no blue, but it's got its, you know, its cult, right? It's a force to be reckoned with. Guess we just Mordred NP and see what's left here. I don't really like green with yellow most of the time. Now there's exceptions, there's always exceptions, like in Gundam Wing, there's like those mechs, the Leos, that are like olive, which is a green, and they have like green, yellow visors. That looks good, I can get behind that. But generally I don't like green and yellow. I actually find this is one of my biggest complaints when it comes to the color green in fashion and mech design or armor design in fantasy or whatever, is everyone uses green like morons. No one uses green well. Green is like, you see it with like, people are always trying to make like kiwi colors, crap like that, like green and pink, you know, watermelon, you know, green and yellow. I see that a lot. I think most uses of green is just so trash, right? I think green is really good as a highlight color and with darker colors like earth colors. It's good with black, obviously. Everything's good with black. I think green is exceptionally good with black. Yeah, I agree with Rabbit. Green is generally best with dark colors, but I see it used with light colors all of the time, and it's so garish and bad like that. Yeah, red and green does not generally work. And again, there's always exceptions, but as we talked about earlier, exceptions prove the rule, so... But yeah, I see green used in very garish ways a lot of the time, and that's not the way. White and green can work, silver and green can work. You gotta be really careful with it though. But like, you know, you could do like a silver, white, you know, pseudo armor or whatever, and you have like a green plume or something. You know, that can work, you know, you can pull that kind of stuff off. You could do a white suit with a green tie. You know, that's good. But what you don't do is you don't do a fucking green suit with a white tie, right? You don't do that. That's just terrible. Yeah, dark green can be used a lot more flexible with light colors. That's definitely a thing. Green and purple's pretty difficult. I've seen it used before in decent ways. It's not easy though, but I've seen like some mech designs and stuff that were purple and green and they were alright, but what you normally see is like Evangelion, what's the mechs in the Ava or whatever the fuck, whatever the bitches unit, right? You see stuff like that and that's not ideal, but maybe like darker purple, like armor or mech or, you know, whatever, that could work. Unit 1, that's a creative name right there. You can tell I'm a huge Evangelion fan, right? Dude, I remember my this was quite a while ago. This was when I was a younger lad. This was like before I moved out on my own. So I was like, I don't know, 13 maybe. Cause I think I moved out when I was like 15 or some shit. But anyway, my brother, my sister, and my mother were all watching Evangelion, and they were like really into it, right? Like they'd watch like quite a few episodes like every night or something, right? It was like a thing. And I watched a good bit of it. You know, I didn't watch a lot of like the beginning because it was terrible. And I've watched the beginning since then on my own. It's terrible, by the way. But anyway, I remember, you know, watching it. You know, I watched all of the ending and stuff, and they were just like, "Wow, this is so good." And they were like super into it. And I'm just like, the whole time I was just sitting there like, in my head thinking, "This is shit." Like I did not like Evangelion at all. And like, first off, it's mostly, I don't know why people don't see this, and the creator I think has even talked about this. Most of what Evangelion is about is like teenage bullshit, right? Like high school teenage bullshit, right? That's literally the core of what Evangelion is about. Now that's not a bad thing. I just don't care, right? I don't find that particularly interesting or engaging or any of that. So I'm just like, this is dumb. And I think the character designs are dumb, and the mechs look really stupid, and there's a lot of like filler and just abstract nonsense to make a really basic bitch point. Like they do all this like grandeur, like, you know, over the top, you know, like crazy bullshit, you know, convoluted abstract bullshit to make an extremely basic bitch point that I'm like, that, okay, I'm not into this, right? I just don't care, right? Horny people be horny and teenagers have communication problems. Okay, great. Yeah, I did not, and I know a lot of people love Evangelion, and good for them. I'm not trying to say you can't, I'm not attacking you because you like the thing. If you like it and enjoy it, great, right? I hope, you know, you enjoy your time watching it and all that, that's great, or reading it or whatever, right? Thumbs up, that's all great, but I fucking hated it. And I don't get why a lot of people like it. I'm not mad that they like it, I just don't get why they like it. And it was just funny, I was just sitting there being surrounded, you know, by, you know, my family that really liked it, and I was just like, I don't like I don't like this at all. But yeah, it's a really popular anime, and you know, manga. It was a manga first. I don't remember. I think it might actually be anime first. I don't fucking remember, but. You know, big IP, you know, huge money maker, all that stuff. But yeah, I don't like it at all. Even though I generally like mech stuff. But wait, is this Max's? No, it's mine. It's just I haven't put Golden Sumo on because it's on somebody else. But good enough. I haven't watched any of the like extra stuff with it. I don't even know what the extra stuff with it is. I think it's like, from the vague stuff I've seen, it's like, I think it's like an alternate timeline or like reboot or multiverse or something, and it's just the same thing but different, and then it has like a more, I don't know, fuck, I don't know. It'd be really hard to get me to watch that with how little I care about because you got the original anime and the original movies, right? You know, the movie that was called The End of Evangelion, that's not actually The End of Evangelion, but just named that, or whatever the fuck! Anyway, you know, I've seen that, and I just did not care for it at all, so it'd be really hard to get me to watch the reboot or whatever it is. But yeah, I don't, you know, it could be way better, and maybe I'd like it, because I know so little about it, I wouldn't know, but yeah, it's a pretty hard sell. I mean, there's really no objectivity when it comes to fiction. There's no way something can be objectively meh, right? If you really, for example with Star Wars, if you really like spaceships and lasers and you like lightsabers and all that, then it's going to be pretty awesome, right? But if those aren't things that you like, it might not be, right? So it's like there's no such thing objectivity with media, and I get annoyed when people like, there is, you can say something is objectively maybe sloppy, right? Like you can show, like, you can objectively show like a writer is inexperienced and there's plot holes and things like that. So there's not like there is objective facts about media or storytelling, but I don't think you can really have an objectively good, bad, or meh story because it's so subjective, right? And you can't tell someone that they're wrong for liking something because they value something differently than you, right? Someone might enjoy something because they really like, you know, a medieval setting, or they really like a period piece, or they like a character deep dive, or they don't like a character deep dive, or they like, it's like there's no right or wrong things here, right? Now, there are objective things with things like having plot holes, or being logically inconsistent, or, stuff like that. Like, it's not like everything's subjective, of course not. There's absolutely a degree of objectivity to it, but that objectivity doesn't tell you if you should like it or not. Right, because some people will like an action flick and they actually like it because it's more shallow. You can't say that that's wrong, right? Like that's fine. You might be able to show that something is objectively not going very deep into the characters, right? Like that's certainly true, but that's not what makes something good, right? Because something can be simplistic and be very good. There's fucking 5-minute videos on YouTube that are very interesting, right? So what I try to do when I'm talking about a story or an anime or a game that I like, I try to say if I like it or not, and I try to make objective points as to why I don't like it, but those points aren't universally important, right? Like, I might not like a game because there's too much RNG in it, right? I can make an objective point about that, and I can objectively point to certain systems that result in RNG and things like that, but that doesn't mean that you have to dislike that RNG, right? It's subjective that I don't like the RNG, and then I make objective points in the game that support that there is RNG in it, right? So, but yeah, there's no, you might like a game because it's hard or easy or fair or unfair, or, it's got a weeby story or it doesn't have a weeby story or whatever. So you want to be able to objectively, talk about why you like it and support your points and stuff. You can't just hide behind, because I think that's the thing that annoys me is people, they agree with what I'm saying here about, things are subjective, and they take it too far and act like that means nothing matters at all, and you can just vaguely say this is good, this is bad, and you don't have to support anything with anything, right? You still want to be able to support your point of view and articulate why this is different from that, and why I like things that are exciting, and I find this exciting because of this and this, or I think this game is bad because its pacing is bad. Look how long you go here with nothing happening, and then everything happens in a short period of time here. And then you want to be able to objectively make points here. But yeah, how much an individual values those points is obviously going to vary. I don't know why I bothered to heal there. I don't think I can kill this thing this turn unless I NP'd, which I wouldn't want to do. Yeah, I'm about to say, Rin's isn't she a twig, I think? Isn't that the thing there? Also a fucking idiot, but that's another topic. Oh, XCOM. Okay, last wave. Easy Mordred clear here. Yeah, they're all super dead. This is honestly kind of disappointing compared to some of these other mini boss waves they've done. This one's a little underwhelming. I mean, let's be honest, the phrase thick doesn't really mean anything specific anymore, right? So, it's kind of just used as a... How do I put this? I don't know, people just use it for interchangeable with hot, right? That's kind of how it's used now, which... I guess it doesn't really matter because it's thick isn't actually a very technical term to begin with for the way it started off being used. I mean, for God's sakes, it comes from Samurai Jack. That whole thing comes from Samurai Jack. I think it's what's his name? What's the bad guy in that? Ku or something? Yeah, it's fucking him. I don't even remember what he's... I don't remember what he's talking about, but it certainly has nothing to do with how people use the phrase thick anymore. I don't. Is it seriously Aku ordering pizza? Because I know he's in like the future, right? Is it seriously him ordering pizza? That's a good example though, because yeah, that clearly the original meaning has been super lost here. So I don't really care if people use it, you know, kind of air quotes wrong, because there was really no right way to use it anyway. Fucking Aku ordering pizza. Because, like, you can't really translate the thickness of pizza crust to a human thigh that well anyway, let's be honest here, so... yeah, the music is pretty funny right now. Alright, we'll just stick with the same setup. I'm assuming this is more like chimeras, and... Anyway, and this team's pretty strong to not die to, like, a chimera crit. Okay, only 2 of them. Let's go. I wonder if Mordred can do 47k without doing her second skill. Let's find out. I really should be soloing these waves because they're like harder than your typical trash stuff. But they're still really easy if you use a team for them, so this would be a good time to solo. Although I guess this account needs to get Bond and whatnot. Oh crap, I'm not bringing Anniversary Blonde. Whoops. My XP though. Man, didn't the voice actor for Aku die before the final season? I'm pretty sure that was the case. That really sucks, because that guy was extremely good at voice acting. That really does suck. Do INP here? Yeah, why not? We'll see what Beowulf can do for the final wave. I've never really made my own dough. My brother does. I think I did a little bit when I was way younger, but I haven't messed with like dough in a really long time. And I haven't made my own pizzas in a long time just because my taste buds are so fucked up, so I don't find it worth the effort, which sucks, but I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, there's a lot of like, you know, dough that you can just buy, and I don't really buy that. It's way too much work to make your own dough, and there's enough dough that you can just get on your own that's really good, so I'm just happy to do that. And I care more about the you know, the sauce and the toppings and that kind of stuff. Really, just getting fresh toppings is what's really good. There's my taste though might come back because basically my nerve got damaged in a surgery and it's like really messed up. But it can repair itself, and I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's getting better, but I don't know, sometimes I think it's just in my head. So I don't know. It's certainly still messed up, though. Okay, I guess Beowulf ain't gonna do too much here. I do hope it comes back, though, because it's kind of weird. I find that, like, right now, I prefer eating stuff that just reminds me of stuff that I remember the taste of well. Like, that's kind of crazy, but that's, like, what I end up eating the most. I'm not that good of a cook. Like, I can bake some stuff, but I'm not, like, a good cook, right? I'm way better at, like just baking. And I generally keep it simple. I don't know, if I had, I don't know though, if I ever like retired where, you know, I wasn't like having to work as much, I could see me spending a lot of free time getting better at cooking and like, you know, learning how to make kimchi from scratch better and stuff like that. I think I would enjoy that, so maybe someday. Well, like, yeah, 50 years from now, guys, we'll have Old Man Green making kimchi. That's the fate of this, clearly. 91%. Well, we got Martha. Makes it easy. Yeah, speaking of people passing away, now we have Guts' theme. I was actually catching up on some of Berserk because I hadn't really done that in years and years and years, and man, series is just insane. Like, I don't know how anybody... It's like it was created out of a fever dream. But it's still good. I mean, really, it's one of those series that everyone says is really good, but it is. I actually do think it's good, and it actually... It really does impress me in a few areas where, like, it really does have interesting character motivations that are pretty well, like, developed. Like, and very early on in the manga, you know, they kind of set the seeds for how their character was going to develop, and you know they've got some very realistic like problems, right? Like with Griffith, right? Yeah, Griffith and Guts, right? Some of their like problems are you know, pretty relatable and well done, right? They did a good job with like kind of putting the early groundwork for that, some of those you know, misunderstandings and whatnot. So that's interesting. I like, you know, Berserk has never been like my favorite series by any means, but I do like it, and I definitely respect the work put into it, and the art is incredible. It's actually insane how much effort is put into some of the like single shots in the manga, like just how much effort was put into it is crazy. Yeah, that absolutely was that man's life work. He definitely put his, so much effort into it. I don't know what my favorite manga is. I actually like reading manga a lot because I enjoy reading, like just books. Manga doesn't really matter. I just enjoy the process of reading. But I do struggle to find stories that I actually relate to or like or find interesting. I'm extremely picky with that kind of stuff. I'm not really sure what my favorite is. I think you absolutely can make an anime out of Berserk. Like, I don't think I don't even think it's difficult to adapt. I don't think it's difficult to adapt at all. I think the problem has more to do with the state of the anime industry, not the actual process of adaptation or any of that. I actually think it translates to an anime ridiculously well because it is got so much with like tone and like the characters that voice acting and music adds a fuckload to it. And there's really nothing about like the set pieces and all that and character moments that actually are difficult to translate to anime. The problem comes more with the state of the anime industry, where it's so seasonal. People have 15-minute attention spans and that kind of stuff, right? The way that the anime industry has evolved over time and how it's just so, you know, clicky and, you know, short and, you know, viewers are fucking morons that it's really hard to have a long ongoing series that you don't just pump out. You know, look at what happened to Seven Deadly Sins trying to do a long-running series, right? The first 2 seasons there was many years between the first 2 seasons. It was like 3 years or something. And the first 2 seasons had high production quality, you know, good animation, good voice acting and all that. But then, you know, it kind of gets shuffled under the rug and then they start pumping it out, you know, really fast, and then it just sucks. You know, and then it's got terrible animation quality and you can't possibly pump out that many episodes in the amount of time. And it's because people try to like capitalize on things while they're still relevant, right? They don't want to do like season 1 of Berserk and then wait 2 years to do season 2. Now, I think Berserk is actually unique in its ability that I think it can get over the problems that happen with the anime industry. I just think the industry is too big of chicken shits to try, because they see stuff like Seven Deadly Sins and they see how seasonal anime has to be and how like Attack on Titan Season 2 was significantly less popular than Attack on Titan Season 1 and stuff like that. They see that and they don't want to try it. But if there ever was a brand, an IP that was so strong that it can just, you know, you can take your time and literally every time you put out something for it, it's going to be a huge success, it's Berserk. Berserk is one of the most beloved IPs in the weeby side of you know, culture, period. Like, if there's anything that you can put out, if you can take your time and, you know, put the budget into it and be confident that you're going to get, and it's a good investment, and you don't have to worry about short-term quarterly gains, it's Berserk. It's like Berserk and fucking Fate. Although Fate's too stupid, and Fate is so fucking dumb, dude. Like, they're just so fucking stupid. That is one of the worst run IPs ever. Like, Time Moon is fucking stupid. They are constantly getting the mindset of like, you gotta capitalize on the short-term profits and, you know, gotta make the game really fast, and they don't need to do that. Fate does not need to do that. They can think about it and learn long-term profits and that kind of stuff. They're very lucky because of that, but they don't. They're like, they pumped out APOC way too fast, and you know, it was less successful because of that. Yeah, Fate is one of the other IPs that could really be successful if you take the time and they put in the work. But most IPs can't. I mean, most IPs are not powerful enough to be able to survive like a 2-year hiatus between seasons and stuff like that. But like, why do I have to do? What do I have to explain? Berserk the manga went a hiatus for like, you know, 10 years or some shit, and it comes back and it's still the most popular thing ever. Like, look how popular that goddamn IP is. It survived the 2016 anime. Imagine being that popular. It survived the 2016 anime, right? Like, it is just such a juggernaut IP. They could take loads of time per season to do the anime and, you know, really put in the effort into the animation and the voice acting and all that kind of stuff, and just take it, you know, one season at a time, and it'd be a long ongoing thing. How you've got like you know, the MCU or whatever the fuck that's been going on for a million years now, right? Berserk could pull that off, no problem, right? No problem. And I think it translates beautifully to anime. I think Berserk can absolutely translate to anime. It just comes down to hiring good people that actually know what they're doing, and those good people aren't being rushed to pump stuff out and having to cut corners, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of the people adapting manga actually understand the manga really well, but the higher ups just don't give them a good timetable and a good budget, and they have to cut corners, and it just is what it is, right? But that has nothing to do with adaptation, and that has nothing to do with Berserk. That's just people being dumb. So yeah, and I think Berserk actually has a shot. I think there are definitely some companies out there that are aware that Berserk is just this juggernaut, beloved IP that is, you know, it's survived the 2016, you know, adaptation. So I think someday it may well get a proper anime, but it really does come down to the people that own the manga, right? They need to hire the correct studio. That's what it comes down to. Is the people that own the manga must hire the correct studio, and like basically the people running the IP have to. They have to understand it well enough to know the difference between a good and bad company, that who can, you know, run it and not run it, and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it'll probably be a long time, but I think eventually it will get an anime. Not necessarily a good one, but I think it will happen. And honestly, the old anime, what was it, the 90s or 80s? You know, the old hand animated Berserk one, that one's pretty good. Like, it's not perfect because basically they knew they weren't going to get to do the whole series. So they cut out some like loose ends that where if they had ended it where they ended it, those loose ends would have just been strange and annoying. So they cut out like the elves and, you know, the Skull Knight and stuff. Like they cut out some of that stuff. But for what they did adapt, they did a good job. They did a phenomenal job with the music, and they did a great job with the art style and all that stuff. Right? They did a great job. It was just they weren't allowed to do the full series because going into it they didn't know how successful it was going to be. And that's because Berserk wasn't as popular back then. And you know, the anime industry was really different and everything, and the manga industry was much smaller back then too. So a lot of the criticisms I see of the original anime are kind of like stupid, and I don't think most of them aren't very valid criticisms to me. So I think that one was fine. It was just kind of a, you know, limited because it was never intended to do the full series. But if it had been intended to do the full series, it probably would have been a lot better. Yeah, honestly, I think it would be so wise to get the original soundtrack if they did make Berserk, and then obviously add new tracks too. I remember I was so impressed with what's it, Slayers, I think. I don't know if that's the full name of the IP, but you know, Slayers Next, Slayers Try, and all that stuff. I think that's based on books, not manga, but I remember they had the really old anime, right? They had 3 seasons of like the old anime. And then they didn't touch that IP for an incredibly long time. And then when they brought it back like way later, they did incorporate the original soundtrack. Now they obviously made a lot of new songs too, but they did incorporate the original soundtrack. And that's great. That's a great way to do it, because even if you haven't seen the old anime, it's still good music and it still fits the vibe, and it's a good way to set the tone. And then it's also really nice for people that have seen the older stuff. I wish more people did that, but it's quite rare. All right, this is definitely Cerberus and Lobo. I'm gonna BRB real quick though. I need to get water before we go running into a boss fight here. I think I might grab some food too, since I'm pretty hungry. Alright, I have returned. And I made the world's most basic bitch sandwich. But, it's pretty good. Like turkey, like darkened turkey and mustard. Because I'm too lazy to do anything more complicated than that, but it's still not bad. Alright, what do we want to murder Limbo with? There we go. If we want to kill Cerberus first, I should maybe go Protoku. Man, this song reminds me that Armored Core 6 is finally getting made. I'm so damn happy about that. Can we have a budget quick support, please? Can we have like the Mozart of quick? But yeah, I'm more excited for that than Elden Ring, and I'm extremely excited for Elden Ring, don't get me wrong, but Armored Core is like my favorite franchise ever. You know, this account doesn't have a lot of oomph. You know, it doesn't have like a herc. Honestly, Ku is some of its best muscle, and he's only level 80. We really should grail some stuff. Scaddy isn't budget, I know, right? Crazy. Yeah, this has actually been one of my weaker accounts. Now, I haven't built any Armored Core models. They're pretty hard to get a hold of, especially the higher quality ones. They're not easy to get a hold of. They're expensive as fuck. Oh. Limbo doing what Limbo does. Draining your NP. And we keep Hans alive. Okay, Proto-Q will one-shot Cerberus, I think. Although he might have his little guts thing, I don't know. Sadly, we don't really have a divine DPS that makes a lot of sense for Zeus, so I'm not sure Stheno will make the cut. Her NP drain can actually be good there, though. Proto-Q has her Brave Chain next turn. Not if Hands dies, that's true. God damn it. It's not even Hans dying, it's the NP steal. I should have cast Proto-Q's debuff resistance. Boss doesn't have divinity, but it's still okay to do this. Sorry I'm not talking a lot, but I'm eating. A little bit hungry. Guarded it. They both had debuff resistance. Okay. Putting faith in Proto-Q here. What if the boss does the stupid, res thing? Okay, I guess fuck the overcharge and do it like that. Because I think he can do 50k with, all of his buffs. No, no guts. That's almost disappointing.
宝具起動全て引き裂け我がカイナデッドエンドアガートラム
Wow. Damn. That's level 90 too. That's not like 100 or anything.
ちょっと疲れちゃった
I assume he's 1k foed, not 2k foed. That's quite impressive. Strong boy.
よいしょいきますおまけ
You know, the Bedivere slap. Yeah, that was just straight neutral, and he didn't have a lot of buffs. He didn't have the attack up from Martha. He just had his own buff, the Mystic Code, and the attack part of the NP. He didn't have the Anti-Divinity here. I don't think Limbo is divine or anything like that. Alright, I think Talos and Europa are coming up. I don't remember that fight super well. That's definitely them. I know 100 Face can solo this, but I want to try doing it without soloing. Oh, right, he's undead. Okay. That did help. Still, though, that was like almost 300k at neutral, and that's not... It didn't have that many buffs still. That's pretty nutty. Chat, I bet you Ku can solo this. He can probably do it really easy, too. I'm a little tempted to do that just cuz. But I really should get Bond. And I was just saying how I wanted to do teen stuff, but like... I'm pretty sure Ku could absolutely wreck this, because he's got anti-berserker even. I don't know, chat, I'm a little tempted to make it a video. I haven't made a video in a while, and it'd be kind of interesting to see if Ku could solo this. Maybe we do a test run on stream here, then I record it after. Let's see, let me get on my main. And I'll look at command codes and stuff. I wish my Ku was 120, not for this, but I'm willing to make like I've got like a special video planned for Ku, but I don't want to do it until he's 120. So it's gonna take a while. There's actually, I could maybe get him 120 right now if I use all my SQ. I had a login streak, got the 30 SQ from that. Got someone got Bond 11. They've been giving out a decent amount of SQ. So I'm up to a good amount again. And I got like 35 summon tickets. If I blew everything, there's definitely a chance I could get enough Kus to get to 120. I think I need, oh fuck. I was thinking I needed like 7 more Kus to get my passive and level him, but I think I was thinking at 30 coins per, and he's 15 coins per. I think I need 14 more Kus. I'm trying to think how many more I need just for the levels if I don't need the second passive, because the passive is 120, that's a lot. So he's at 114 right now. So 116, that's 30 coins. 118, that's 60 coins. 120, that's 90 coins. Oh god. Okay, that's not happening anytime soon. I really hate this system, by the way, especially for 3 stars. It's just awful. Alright, I don't remember how this fight works at all. And because there's 2 enemies and one of them's an assassin, it might be one of the rare cases that you actually want to use survivability command codes on Ku. You normally don't, because normally he's got the survivability, like enough survivability, you just want more damage. But this might be one of those fights where the damage is not a problem. And because you're going to have to beat Talos and then deal with Europa, because he's single target, and Ku is single target, not AoE, it might actually be better to have survivability. Yeah, I'm sure the Yang CE would be the way to go, but I try to go without that unless we're doing something really, really, really hard. 4 stars aren't too scuffed if they're limited and you rolled big when they were rated up. But they're pretty rough beyond that because there's no reliable way to get them, and if they're unlimited, you don't really get that many coins with them. Like, you can get 3 copies of them and go to MP5 or Bond 5, and you can't get a single passive, let alone grailing them to 120. And there's just no reliable way to get like some random, like let's say Dion's your favorite character, there's just no good way to get Dion copies. Like, that's just not a thing. Like, even though you would think limited stuff would be harder, if you're saving up for your favorite thing, let's say your favorite thing is, chat, throw it, what's a 4-star that's limited? I guess Saito, right? So let's say Saito's your favorite. You can just save up until he gets rated up, and a lot of units get rated up about once a year. And, okay, Fujino, not the best example. Anyway, but yeah, you just save up until they are rated up, and then you just get so many copies of them all at once, and you're done. Where with some of the unlimited ones, sure, you can get lucky and get spooked by them. That if luck goes your way, you can get them without having to wait too much. But you can also just go and I mean, I have NP0 hurt. If I wanted to get hurt to 120, it'd just be bullshit. Even though I saved it like 2,000 SQ, I don't have anywhere to spend it to actually reliably get enough copies of hurt to do that. Or if I saved up like 1,000 SQ, I could get a limited 4-star as soon as they're rated up and be done. So yeah, I 4 stars it's weird. What would fix this is if they brought back the yearly 4-star ticket. That would help a lot. Thankfully, all my favorites are 5 stars or 3 stars. So, although 3 stars are awful. I mean, I have Bond 15 coup. That's not normal. Most people don't have Bond 15, and I have Bond 15, and I've rolled so much SQ since they added the coin system, just trying to get coup, right? I don't even care what the fuck I'm rolling on. I just don't roll on things that I hate, but it's just going so slow. I mean, I still need so many coups, like so many of them. I'm not even close. I've like given up hope on Mori. It sucks, but it's like it's just so impractical to get Mori to 120. And like I tried last time he was rated up, I rolled a good bit, and I only got 2 copies of him, and it's just so impractical. Like getting him to MP5 isn't that bad, but you just need so many copies, and it's just so disheartening because all of the SQ I put towards Mori before the coin system don't count. I don't understand why they thought that was like a good idea. That is just so obnoxious, and it just fills people with fury. Like, I put in the effort to get MP5 Mori back in the day, and I don't get a single coin for that. And then someone rolls on him when he's rated up the last time, and they get coins for it. Like, it's stupid. Like, that's so fucked up. Like, I think the reason why they didn't give 3 stars retroactive coins is because they wanted FP to mean something. But, like, you can't get Mori in Izo from FP anyway. So there's, like, why not make it retroactive? It's infuriating to see all these people that have had their favorite character that happens to be a gold, and, like, you know, they worked on it over time. Like Dragon Lord, right? And, I'm glad Dragon Lord gets this. It's just, it's infuriating to watch other people get it, and I don't get it because I like 3 stars. So, Dragon Lord has, maxed out Attila over time, kept rolling on her over and over until he got MP5. And he's got the bond way up. So when the coin system finally hits, he can just instantly do all this stuff for Attila, right? He has to farm the XP, but then his Attila's good to go, right? Where if your favorite's a 3-star, even if you got them to bond 15 and everything, you can't do shit. Like, you can't do shit. And so everyone, you get to look at all these other people, upgrading their favorite units and getting all, meaty. And then if you like low stars, it's like, well, fuck you. You're gonna have to wait months and months and months and months and months and maybe even years. Like, it sucks. Like my coup is like halfway done, or a little over halfway done, but he actually isn't, because a lot of that was just because of the bond coins that I can't get anymore. So I'm actually, in a way, like, in terms of time, I'm not even halfway done. Yeah, Ongra fans, at least he gets more coins per copy, but it's still pretty rough. Like, it's easier to, like, really upgrade my Achilles that I haven't put that much effort into compared to Coup than it is to upgrade my Coup. Like, how the hell does that work? Okay, I might want to bring a Pearson vulnerability because Europa might cast her vulnerability skill, so I think I will do that. Not maybe being overly cautious here, but I wonder if there's any attack up, defense up stuff here. I honestly do not remember the gimmicks here. I just remember when Talos dies, her MP gets sealed. I remember that. But I don't know if I need to bring like debuff clear or anything like that. Well, I guess we just try it once with a fairly generic setup. And if we're like, oh man, we need a defense removal thing or an attack removal thing, we'll just change it. Yeah, Bond is across all versions of a character. It is kind of weird though, if you buy a passive on your level 100 coup, for example, if you have a level 70 coup, it'll unlock from you buying it on the other one, but it won't rank up. If you start like ranking it up on the main copy, the alternate copy won't, it won't, like if you go from 1 to 10, right, the alternate copy will still be at 1. There are some strange things that are shared. Command codes are shared, faux pas are shared, your strengthening quests are shared, so you can have a level 1 coup with all of his upgrades if you have another coup with them. Alright, this will actually be the first time I've used my 114 coup for something serious. I've obviously used them, but I haven't used them for anything particularly relevant. I'm so sad because he's outrageously close to having 15k attack, but I don't have enough coins to grail him again, even though I have the grails on me. Yeah, if you like Shingon, you really do have to level it twice, though, because it's great to have a level 1 Shingon with it at max. For completely peaceful reasons, chat. There's no like evil scheme, ulterior motive here. Where is Leonidas? Surely this account has a level 1 Leonidas. There he is. I've been finding more and more with Ku's buffs, for default Mystic Code ends up being his best, because he can absolutely survive the amount of turns where you could potentially win if you had default. So it's been more, it's kind of nice though having a bit more variety there. Atlas is still normally peak value, but it kind of depends. I find bosses with incredibly high DPS. I don't think this was the stage I was thinking of. Of course, Europa is a rider, not an assassin. Well, I guess we're coup soloing anyway. And then we'll just try that again in a moment. I like how we got an amazing hand here. Dude, the inventory, if you save up to like 6 million FP or something, the inventory management is so brutal. But it is good if you can put up with it, and you can take, like, put some time aside to go through all the inventory hell. You will if you get a lot of FP. Why does this not have a card on it? I absolutely equipped one. What the hell? Well, oh well. Anyway, that much FP, you will get a lot of copies of the low stars to help you out with the coin system, and you might get Angra and what's her name, Silver Lily. I have 6 million FP on JP because I hate inventory management. I do too, but I want coup copies so bad that if I had 6 million, because I had like 2 million and I used it. So if I had 6 million, I would use most of it, and you know, hope for the best. All right, let's see. We got. That guy's got sure hit. Oh my god, I'm at 98%. If George didn't take all of the cards, and I just got literally 1 MP gain, I could MP the one with sure hit. That is unfortunate.
おう行くぜさらよいしょっと
But yeah, if you're a big NA player, it's not a bad idea to start saving up. If you like a low star, right? Some people don't like a lot of low stars, but if you're a big low star fan. Okay, I need to kill the 8k one and then NP the 60k one.
じゃあなぶちかますかね
I do 8k and one hit. If I had the command code that I have, like the flat 1000 damage command code on this card, it just didn't register for some reason. But if I had that right now, I would be pretty confident. Well, we can get the extra attack. It's just like, there's all kinds of reasons why it's nice to do the one attack. To get more NP gain if you can do the other normal card to the other enemy. I think he can do it. We'll get a little cocky here.
呪いの試合おう
Or 114. Yeah, there we go.
その心
I was a little worried because you've got things like attribute stuff and a lot of trash mobs. You have no idea what attribute they are. So if you're being attribute countered and you low roll, you may get a surprisingly low amount of damage on a normal card. Because those two systems combined can get kind of nasty. Yeah, infinite damage there. Kind of nice though, maybe it's easier to kill that one. Oh, this is it? I was hoping there were more enemies. I was like wanting to play the long game, you know, really get that long-term value, but this is it. This is definitely an example of where the default Mr. Code would be better than Atlas. 30% crit or just the upfront more about. We'll go for the crit. We'll go 20, 30, 50. That's like reasonable to get some crits here. Okay, not as good as I would have liked, but I got him just barely. Not gonna lie, Ku throwing out some damage here for being a neutral. That's nice. Getting those extra stats. At 114, Ku is kind of like a 94 star, maybe a little bit higher than that actually because of 2k foe. If it wasn't for the 2k foe, I think he'd be like a level 90 4-star. Because he's 2k foe, it's kind of like an 100 4-star right now. And then when he does get to 120, he's kind of like an 100 5-star that's 1k foe. Right, an 100 5-star that's 2k foe will be greater than a 120 Ku in terms of stats. But that's pretty good for a 3-star being able to get that high. I don't mind that. Yeah, this Chimera is so fucked. We don't have our NP, but it doesn't matter. What's a shame is I'm one turn off from this attack up. Getting that attack up with the extra attack boost and the Berserker boost, that would be awesome. If we had just brought default, we could have done a bit more oomph here. We'll do slow-mo. Yeah, our extra attack here is going to do an outrageous amount of damage. 25k. Oh, yeah, this guy's got damage cut, but it's not helping him. 30k. I wonder how much that would be if the enemy didn't have damage cut. I don't think their damage cut is that big, but it does add up. We definitely did a good bit of overkill there. I can't wait for a 120 Ku though. I'm working on my 100 Ku though on my regular ult because, you know, 120 Ku is just so overkill for some stuff. I want to have I've got a 10-10-10 level 100 Ku on my regular ult, but what I want is him level 100, 10-10-10, and then 2k foe. That's what I want. I mean, but he's not at that point yet. I have so many Lancers that I like. It's a problem. Okay, this still isn't Europa, so okay, hold on. We don't have to Q right now. We can wait a moment here. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. We're doing it. We'll use him in a team setting, though. We'll get some Stheno hype in here. George Bond. Anyone? I guess Arku could use Bond because he needs his third passive for Fluffy. He's pretty far away from getting anything like that, though. Oh, he already has his third passive. Awesome. Okay, that's good. I mean, I guess it's good to get his other passives if I can, but maybe just Protoku then, because I would certainly like to get our Protoku beefed up. He's got his second passive, alright. Freaking love this song. I love Divinity 1, man. I like Divinity 2 as well, but Divinity Original Sin 1 is just... I love that game. That was a game that I didn't know a lot about when I bought it. It was one of those games, you know, I bought later in my life, right? So a bit more jaded, you know, a bit harder to be impressed. And I didn't have particularly high expectations for it. But my god, I just got so into that game. It was super fun. You know, like, the ways you could break that game and, like, just, like, beat quests in a way that you absolutely were not supposed to. Just, like, such a fun, like, sandbox, right? Awesome. I feel like that would be a hard game to stream. But I don't know. Maybe someday. Maybe it would be... It is fairly visually engaging and whatnot, but... Especially if you are breaking the game and doing silly stuff. Like, I've told the story about me blowing up that church before, where you're supposed to go through this long quest line where you, like, infiltrate the cult and, like, gain their trust and everything, but instead of doing that, I just, like, collected explosive barrels throughout the entire game and then dropped 1 billion explosive barrels in that church and just blew the whole thing up. And, that... Shit like that is a good time. So yeah, maybe we will stream that. Alright, we got some, assassins to deal with here. Sadly, no NP gain for Spartacus. Oh, we're still in slow-mo. It is pretty awesome how much of, like, a normal card monster my coup has become. Because first off, Lancers are just a bit favored when it comes to the way stats work, because they've got the slightly higher attack multiplier. And because Grails give the same stats to everyone, they're actually giving slightly more stats to Lancers. And even more to Avengers. That one really gets out of control. But, so, just in that department, you know, Coup does well. Coup also has the highest attack stat out of any 3-star Lancer, or 1 to 3-star Lancer. Because sometimes 2 stars have more than 3 stars and stuff like that. But anyway, and these guys don't attack up, and you give them faux pas, you know, 2k foe, and all that stuff. It just adds up to such a massive amount of normal card damage. It's not really like Hitman, because Hitman is a third-person, like, shooter, right? Where Divinity is actually a turn-based game, although it finds ways to spice it up quite a bit. So it's not turn-based like FGO, though. It's more like... Shit, I don't know an example for this because I don't play a lot of games like Divinity. I have no example here. I have no... You know, it's tough. It's more like the units move around on the battlefield and stuff, but it seamlessly goes between, like, you know, the stuff that's happening outside of combat into combat, right? So if you're in a town talking to NPCs, you can just attack the NPC anytime you want to. And it'll just trans into... Yeah, kind of, a bit more like XCOM. It's a little bit more fluid than that, just with the way, like, the gameplay systems work. Because, yeah, you literally can attack anyone, and you can, like, you know, hijack any building or whatever. Yet actually, under the hood, it is a lot like D&D, or Baldur's Gate. And the new Baldur's Gate is made by the same devs as the Divinity devs, so... And Spartacus still can't NP. Get NP next turn, though, I think. But yeah, I don't know, maybe more, I figured a lot of people that were interested in anything even remotely like that might have already played that game, because it's kind of a classic. I don't know, maybe a lot of my viewers would enjoy seeing it and it'd be something new to them. Because I definitely like it, and I haven't played it in a long time, so I've forgotten a lot of stuff, and it always makes it more fun to replay a game. Alright, we barely got Spartacus's NP in time there. I've never actually played a Fallout game, but I know they're first-person shooters, but, you know, they kind of got a turn-based element, kind of, and, a lot of bugs, but that's a whole different matter. Oh, I will definitely recreate blowing up the church because it's actually awesome not having to like side with the, you know, go undercover and deal with this long quest line and all that. Like, I'm totally game. It saves you a lot of time dealing with people you don't want to deal with. So, because yeah, like the head of the church is like way higher level than you, so you couldn't reasonably fight him head on. Alright, well, I don't have Kuzinpi, but I'm still gonna give him the buff here. What's cool is if the snake bra buff blocks me or any crap like that, Ku can just remove it. 16k. Just get rid of that. Now, there's not much point in doing Stheno's NP, but it does make us do more peak damage. But we'll do the Brave Chain. That was tempting though, getting that giant defense down when we got all these attack ups would be pretty cool. Okay, well, he is dead. And we kill this one though. Oh Jesus, that extra attack, okay. I knew we had the 3 of a kind bonus, but damn, I guess the 3 of a kind bonus with the first passive is just kinda nutty. The later games are more like Skyrim with aimbot. That's funny. Yeah, I know the older Fallout games are more like turn-based top-down stuff. I've never played those either, but I do know of them. Poor Protoku. We had a beast here, but it's already dead. Definitely gonna kill here. 16, and we had no attack buffs. The main reason I haven't been too interested in Fallout stuff is the gameplay stuff never looked engaging enough for me. I'm a very gameplay focused person. I love good story and everything, but for me to get into the story, I need the gameplay to be good. Because if it's just a good story, I'm like, I could just go read a book. Okay, this is probably Europa and Talos. I would not be surprised if I need to change my command codes, but look at this, 14,994. That's not exactly the most satisfying stat line to be sitting at. I think he'll end up, though, at about 15,500, I think. Which, that's pretty much a 5-star at level 100, 1k foe. Definitely not 2k foe, but... because they'll have a lot of health, too, because he's not one of those wacky units with way more attack than health. Okay. I guess we need a double taunt. I should probably not actually bring Leonidas. I should probably bring, like, Spartacus or someone with less HP, because Talos is an AoE unit and they'll hit everybody. Actually, George is the one I need to cut, because George might take 2 hits. I doubt it. I very much doubt it, but in case he did, that would be a big problem. So what you would want, then, is you'd want to get Q's art card at the beginning, because with Talos attacking you and everything, it'd make it really easy to get your NP in time. Because, yeah, I'm going to be super close. If I'd gotten my art card, I'd have my NP right now, and we'd break Talos' HP bar immediately. Where now we're going to be in kind of an awkward spot where we like almost break it with normal attacks and then we'll overkill it with the NP. Yeah, also I guess you could just break it on that turn if you had gotten any coup cards like enough for a Brave Chain. Like that probably would break it in 2 turns. Don't think there's going to be much in the way of debuffs, so I'm going to just throw this out for the heal. I guess I go for Starchin. It does kind of suck though that I'm whiffing so much NP gain and damage this turn. Because there's a lot of ways you could break that health bar before then. Actually, he is trying to debuff us when he attacks us. Burn. Alright, I might be able to kill Talos, although I get the feeling he's gonna have... he's gonna have guts. So we really want to get that break a turn sooner, because Talos does so much damage per turn. Killing him 1 turn sooner is actually a really big deal. Like right now, I actually don't think we're gonna be able to solo this, but I think it eventually, I think we can solo, it's not on this run. Jesus. Still probably not on this run, but I don't know, we'll see. That was a little bit of damage. Damn it, Europa. I think we're going to be just ever so slightly short on value here. Like, if we had done that, Guts would not have gone off that turn if I had killed Talos a turn sooner. Most likely, anyway. Yeah, I don't think we got enough oomph left. Talos did a little bit too much to us that I don't think we can... I don't think we can get back to cast PFA again. Now, I could change my command codes where I've got like a heal and stuff, and I could use my 3rd skill again, I use the heal command code, and I probably could get my health back up. But, we'll see. Only got 200k though. Yeah, the heal boost command code's really good here because of the heal at the end. Because if you don't have one of your own heals to use, it can at least hit that. Because I need to, my health bar needs to buy me 1 turn to be able to do this again. And if I cast PFA again, we win. Like easy. I should have just gone for NP gain, I think. Ooh, we win now, because you didn't kill us there. That was so close. I don't actually really need to do the Pierce invulnerability, but I'm just gonna do it because I can. So that was pretty close, but if we clean it up a bit, it really won't be close. Oh right, she's got the limited number there. She's kind of like Ku. Alright, well, she's dead. Not only is she dead this turn without PFA, but even if she wasn't, PFA would get her. So, yeah, Ku kind of good there. If I make a video out of that, though, I want to clean that up. So, that wasn't exactly smooth, but... When is NA getting the, oh yeah, the coin system? Yeah, 6th anniversary, so you got a little bit to go. Yeah, we'll probably make a video out of that. I don't see why not. So I guess we'll wrap up here, which kind of works out because I'm out of AP. And I wanted to play some Dark Souls today anyway, because we're at Sin's Fortress and at Sin's Fun House, you know, so I want to do that. But, yeah, I think I'll make a video of that later. That seems like a fun one. How many of the Pure Prisms do I have? 93. You can get a good bit of stuff with 93. That's actually good. So if we end up needing to level something for Zeus, we probably can. We won't have foe items for them though, and XP items, but that's not... The XP is not hard to get. I'm trying to think, if I do need to level something for Zeus, what would it be? There's always Fuma. Fuma would be pretty good. Get skill ranks on Asclepius here. Those are the two most useful things I can think of. Two is pretty good cleanup there, even at 80. I don't think I have an Avenger. If I do, it's Angra. Oh, well, we have Antonio, but... Oh, I have Lobo! Oh, fuck, I should have leveled that. Lobo would be great for Zeus. I don't know if I could afford to get him up in time, but Lobo would be so much fun on Zeus at the end. But Antonio's not worth it. Ku is better than Antonio by a good amount. But okay, for those that are just here for FGO, I think that's it for today. And I think we're gonna switch over for some Dank Souls 1. Man, Lobo, I really want to get NP2 on one of my accounts. I've only got him NP1. I got him on like 3 different accounts, but none of them have him at NP2. But give me a second here, I gotta switch over the stream title and all that. But yeah, thank you everybody for the subs and the nickels and all the support. But we'll be back to FGO tomorrow. Just type in all this bullshit. Like how I say that and it's just nickels all of a sudden. And I see I can't even make the reverse psychology play because it's fucking 5 cents. Like, oh man, I'm rich. I wonder though. I wonder how many nickels I have been given over time. Like how much it has amounted to. Oh man, I sure hate $100 bills. Yeah, I don't think people would fall for that one. I think that's too much of a stretch there. Okay. Let me restart the stream just so the VODs are separated, and we'll be back in just a moment.